Justice for white boys.
Tell us about the plan to end hunger.
Well, it's quite simple, really. Almost facile. I looked at hunger as a supply and demand problem. Too many hungry people. Simple. Rather than reducing the number of hungry people, simply reduce the number of people using involuntary euthanasia for the weak and unfortunate and turn them into compost for our crops. It's simple.
Let's go!
Would you rather a gay son or a thought daughter?
I'd burn them both.
That's horrible.
Is it though?
Whoever invented the tricone drill bit was truly a genius. A single drill bit with 3 rolling cones can easily bore dozens of meters deep into the ground. The cones are covered with extremely hard metal teeth designed to attack rock the moment the bit starts spinning. These teeth crush and shatter rock as the bit rotates at high speed. Hundreds of impact points hammer the surface every single second, and no matter how hard the rock is, it eventually breaks apart completely. But here's the real question: at such depths, how are those fragments removed? Unlike traditional drills, which use a hollow stem to capture soil until lifted and cleared, the tricone has no way to store cuttings. Instead, broken rock is ground into fine particles and swept away by circulating fluid. That's why water is pumped continuously during drilling. On one hand, it flushes debris out of the borehole. On the other, it cools the bit, preventing damage from the extreme heat caused by friction.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday night. Does that count as a shanty? If it's talking about a Tricon drill bit, that still counts though, right? The vibe of it all. But anyways, I hope you all are having a wonderful Monday night. We are joined by the controversial, so to speak, at least in my community, apparently Pacific Northwest Guerrilla. How is your evening going, sir?
Howdy, howdy. Doing pretty well so far. How about yourself?
Good, good. Glad to have you on. It's been a bit of back and forth over the last week or so to get a date lined up, but this should be fun. How's the week going so far?
So far so good. It was a rough weekend, as I told you pre-stream, but we're going into it strong.
Here we go. All right, Jake, Richard, how's your guys' day going?
Good.
Fantastic.
Excellent. You guys happy to be here, Jake? You seem enthused.
I'm so enthused. Couldn't even express it. Don't have the words.
All right.
For it.
Well, we are going to. So to kind of set this up, there's a couple guys in my community who have been like, you've got to talk to Pacific Northwest Guerrilla. You guys line up on, political, some noticing, a little bit of here and there, some of our woes with society, so to speak. And that's like half my audience, There's another half of my audience who's like, you can't talk to Pacific Northwest Guerrilla because of XYZ thing that he did in the past. And it's like, you can't do that, John. Now, in my opinion, it's like, well, I don't really care. Like, even if somebody is like a terrible person, like it's fun just to have them on and talk to them about it at least. And you were more than willing to come on and talk about all the stuff. So I think that's a point in your quarter to start, because I don't really think we've ever interacted before. Like, I think I follow you on X and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think we ever talked before. I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really big in the area 3 years ago when I left. I was a pretty small YouTube channel, didn't really even stream all that much. So, I mean, it wasn't until I moved away that I got a little bit more outspoken with the live streams and stuff like that. So, but before we get into that, I did have one funny little story that I did want to talk to Jake about specifically. Do you know where you were the other night? Because there was a man arrested locally at a Culver's for pulling a gun on one of the drive-thru workers. Now, Jake, we all know here that you're a big fan of the Culver's. So do you have an alibi for your whereabouts at the time of this incident? Now, I know that sometimes they get your Butterburger Goislop order wrong, and it's like, I'm going to take it out on the nearest employee. But I'm just saying, like, drawing a gun makes us all look bad, okay?
You know, John, I would never do such a thing to my beloved Culver's employees. I back the blue, firmly back the blue. They bring me my cheese curds, and I love them for that. I would never do such a thing. This is just crazy allegations.
I beg to differ. I have firsthand knowledge that he was there and he robbed them and he stole rubber duckies.
That's, well, no, I would never do that.
Tonight, we're working to learn more about a man who was arrested inside Kings Island Amusement Park on Monday.
Court documents say.
First off, why were you at an amusement park without any kids? That's the real question, Jake.
Caleb Harris pulled a gun on a Culver's drive-thru employee shortly before fleeing to the theme park.
And 911 calls from inside that Culver's are now giving us a more pictured look.
So we had someone pull a gun on one of our minor employees in the drive-thru.
Jake, it gets worse and worse. A minor employee? Am I still here?
You know,
am I lagging?
No, you're still here. I still hear you. This is not anything I would ever do, John. I like I said, I love my Culver's employees. They're fantastic people. And I would especially never pull a gun on a minor. That's wrong. These allegations, they concern me. Okay, I'm not. I would not do.
You're taking them seriously. Yes, you need to hire a PR company to help you get out of this.
Probably do. I probably do.
Stereotypes were harmed in the making of this news broadcast. Yes, exactly. Well, all right. Let's go ahead and get into the real meat of the discussion then. So, PNW. Do you want me to call you PNW, Alex? Like, what's the best way to refer to you?
What
are your pronouns?
No preference in my pronouns.
All right. So, I don't know where to begin, really. Describe what you do in the industry. You run a company, your YouTube channel. Just give us the rundown for the people who aren't aware, and then we'll kind of move into some of the other stories and allegations therein.
So I run a military surplus company. I have a kind of shitty YouTube channel, mostly popular for ratioing politicians on Twitter these days. Which is kind of like low-hanging fruit, let's be honest. Used to be popular-ish on Instagram. I think that's where the vast majority of my drama really stemmed from. And my time on Instagram being an influencer, oh God, unbelievably cringe. And I can understand. And you know what? Even I look back at my content and the crap that I said for my Instagram days. I'm like, no, I deserve the hate. It was rough. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, that's what Instagram is for, right? It's for posting cringe. So you run a military surplus company out of Washington State, which is like nightmare territory because of taxes and everything else. Like, if my lights would turn on, please. There we go. The automatic lights in the shop are annoying. So running a business, you have a YouTube channel, you have an Instagram, your X account's pretty big, pretty popping all the time. It is low-hanging fruit to, kind of beat up on retards, essentially, right? That's what we're doing is beating up on like retarded politicians and making fun of them. It's fun, but it's like popcorn, it's not really very fulfilling. It's not going to get you very far. But let's start out with maybe one of the more serious allegations. So you put on like events where people get together IRL, right? And that's like one of the more important things, I think, for people to actually have a community, to have people to get together with like-minded individuals where they can discuss things IRL, where they can network, where they can work together, where they can build these, whether it's a parallel economy, or they can do like FTX events, or they can do just generic things that guys do together, right? Now, back in the day, this was a couple of years ago, I believe. I don't have the full details on this, but there was a gentleman that you had hanging around who was a known like federal asset, right? Maybe not known to you at the time, but walk me through all of that.
So you are referring to the federal informant William Coleman. I just brain dumped his handle at the time. So when I was informed that he was potentially a federal informant, and nothing had come out yet, no like actual proof had come out yet, and all there was rumors. So I had hosted I forget what I called it. It was like PNW Range Day 2019. And he had come out to that event. It was like 90 some odd people that had come out to this flat range day that I hosted up near Concrete, Washington. He came out to that event, and from that event kind of spurred more open events, which did not last very long because the Fed allegations, started up, and I kind of went dark for like a year or so, just because I had never handled that kind of drama, and I didn't know how to handle it, honestly. But so he came out to one event. We were going to host another event, and someone had told me that he was dealing with a lot of all of the like federal stuff going on in Oregon with the Bundy Ranch situation.
Yep.
And someone had told me that he had been to that, and just to look wise of him, and kind of keep your eyes on him because he might be a federal informant, or like some things that he done was weird. And so I had said, and while talking this, and there's screenshots of this, and I guarantee you there's people that are watching right now that have seen those screenshots, and I'm not in any way trying to hide what I said of, yeah, I have no proof right now that he is a federal agent or federal informant. I'm going to, keep letting him come out to open events. This was by no means a closed event. This was not one of my friends, of which the internet will say. I have seen this man 3 times in my entire life. He came out to another event. We even discussed him being a Fed. Because I asked him, just dead nuts to his face. I was like, hey, I was told by someone on the internet that you might be a federal informant. Do you have anything to say to me from this? Now, this was after the conversation with all the screenshots that a lot of people will see from Instagram. So I asked him about this. He denied absolutely everything. After that camping trip, then the screenshots came out of me after that camping trip. So the screenshots had already happened before that camping trip. I asked him about everything, and then the screenshots went out, and then the news story came out as well that he was in fact a federal informant and that he had testified as a federal informant. So as soon as he testified that he was a federal informant, he deleted all of his counts. He left every single group chat, and that was let's see, that would have been winter of 2019, and I still have not heard from him since. The third time that I ever saw him was in between those events. There was a rally down in Olympia, and people took that story and they went absolutely bonkers with it. I started getting mass reported on Instagram. My Instagram account got deleted. I don't know how many times. I've actually lost track now. I started buying burner phones trying to stay on Instagram. Because I was trying, that was like the very beginning of when I was trying to start my company. And so it was like every 3 or 4 months, I was buying a new cell phone because I was desperately trying to stay on Instagram. And the only reason that I actually wound up getting popular on Twitter is I finally said, screw it to Instagram. And I made a YouTube channel and a Twitter channel. And then I started putting more effort into YouTube and Twitter, and that's wound up getting popular there. And I just made another Instagram account. And so far, Instagram has actually been really nice to me this time around. We'll see how long it lasts. But no, I understand why it probably looked bad and why it probably looked weird of me dipping out from everything. Because honestly, I'd never handled that type of drama before. I didn't know what to say. No one believed me. And it was just kind of one of those things where I just need time for it to blow over. I'm not really sure, but I hope that.
Well, so
question.
I get that it's really difficult to deal with all this. So the timeline of events is you're hanging out with this guy. You say a total of 3 times over the course of like some IRL events in Washington State. There's some allegations about him. There's no proof. And you decide to kind of continue hanging out with him, or at least allowing him to participate in these events until there's like real hard proof saying that actually, no, he is a federal agent. Looking back on that, however, it's for good reason. Everybody in this space is very wary of feds. Even the accusation of being a fed, like fed jacketing people, right, can be used as a chilling effect to get people to not meet IRL, right? Because everybody's going to tell you, oh, you go meet somebody IRL, it's going to be a federal agent. They're going to send you to prison for 20 years for, whatever it happens to be. Now, some of the other allegations with Mr. Coleman, is that correct?
Yeah, Will Coleman.
Some of the other allegations with Coleman was that he was trying to, I believe, through Telegram at the time, hook you guys up or hook some other people up in the community with like other militia groups, right? To try and like get more people interacting with one another, which is, again, it's like none of these things in and of themselves are necessarily bad, like trying to network with other groups or whatnot. But when the guy already has like Fed allegations and he's trying to tie a bunch of people together, like all of this stuff to me is just popping up as a red flag. So looking back on that, do you think you had the proper response to kind of let the allegations sit before you actually made like permanent action on him, or like did something proactive about getting rid of him?
Well, I didn't have a group at the time. I didn't have like, and a lot of people might not believe me, but I was actually a loner at the time. And I was going to like these like open militia events and the 3%er militia events. And he was in one of the 3%er militias that invited me out to like go to events. And I'd never seen him at any of those events, but it was technically a group that he was in. So he was not trying to, at least that I saw, he wasn't trying to like recruit any other, because there wasn't any other, I guess, if that makes sense. Or at least I didn't have a group at the time.
Interesting. That was just something that I had heard somebody said, that he was trying to like link other people together while you were kind of like dismissing the allegations of him being a federal agent, right?
Probably, but that timeline was very, very short of like when we had heard that he might be a fed until when it got like uncovered that he was a fed. I mean, that happened in the matter of like maybe a month.
Okay. So yeah, really, really short compressed time frame.
Yeah.
So after that, you obviously get fed jacketed at that point in time, right?
Yeah.
You take off for basically like a year. And even now, like you'll see it in the chat, you'll have like a half dozen people calling, obvious fed, flip flopper, blah, 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 this guy, that guy, the other thing. So looking back on that, like, what do you think the proper response was? And because let's just grant you that you did nothing wrong, you didn't know, you didn't have any access to the information. I'll just grant you all of that, right? But looking back now, you have a couple extra years of hindsight and whatnot. You took that year off, basically, where you kind of like lay low, so to speak. What do you think would have been the proper response at that time?
I think the better response would be not engaging with people in comments, not engaging with people in stories, and just having like a sit down long expose of going over like the entire timeline and everything. And I put off trying to talk about it as much as I could, because I knew that the more I talked about it, the worse that it was going to get, or at least that's what I thought. I think I should have just talked about it more and just not stop talking about it until it kind of went away. I wouldn't say went away, but I think that shying away from it and not talking about it made it look worse.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's like the flip side of everything, right? So it's like if you try and ignore it, there's certain things that I just ignore because I'm like, that's going to go away. It's nothing burger. No one cares. Fed allegations like stick with you. Like forever, right? Especially online. Like I don't know of anyone who's actually beaten the Fed allegations, right? Whether it's you, Nick Fuentes, anyone in between, right? Whatever size they happen to be, once you get Fed jacketed, like it's basically over at that point. And for the people who don't know, Fed jacketed is just when people give you the label of Fed based on like suspicion or like really minimal evidence, right? And then you always get that label of Fed, and then everything you do going forward, if it's like If I'm like, hey guys, we're doing a range day next year, it's like, well, he's a Fed, so of course he's doing a range day to try and get people into one location so that he can get all their info and he can, do this XYZ thing. And it's like, or maybe he just wants to have like a range day. It's like some of the big YouTubers like Iraq veteran 1488 back in the day when he was doing his range day type stuff. It's like, because he didn't have any Fed allegations, nobody cares, right? But if you have the Fed jacket and you try and do anything IRL, everything going forward gets tainted with that.
No, trying to host open events in 2019, 2020 was way easier than it is now. And I understand that people also had more time and money back then than they do now. But no, there's a lot of people that are spooked by me, and there's a lot of people that have, and I don't want to say good reason, but understandable. Like it makes sense, like outside looking in, of just like, no, look at everything he does. Look at all the open events that he still does. He's got to be a Fed. There's no way that he's not a Fed. And like, I get it. I understand the hate.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of inevitable in this space, especially when you get more like into right-wing politics, let's say. Right, because I mean, almost all of these major groups are infiltrated on some level, and in my opinion, like I think that it's used as a weapon, right? It's a chilling effect. It makes people afraid to get together, and I think that even if certain organizations are compromised, even if there are assets, like you still at some point have to band together. You have to meet up. You have to be able to talk to people. You have to have some sort of community. And at some point, you just have to, mitigate your risk as much as possible. But there is kind of an acceptable level of risk that everybody just has to put up with at some point, right? Well, I mean, otherwise, the alternative is just to sit in your basement forever and never do anything.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was about to say. Of what's the alternative? Just do nothing. And I think the best saving grace that I've had to caveat everything of, if you don't want to train with me, if you don't want to be in my local tribe, please just start your own. Start your own community, start your own tribe, talk to your neighbors. Even if you don't want to be around me, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But we as Western people need to come together, no matter who it is, no matter where you are in the Western world. You need to start coming together. If you think that I'm awful, that I'm evil, then just stay the fuck away from me. But please go do it yourself. Please go start working out yourself and come together yourself, even if it's away from me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the message is still the same. You still need to get together with me, right? You still need to have some sort of community, right? Whether or not you like me individually, like that's not really relevant. Like no one really cares. Especially, it is funny too, where people are like halfway across the country and have like no possible way of ever interacting with you IRL, and they're like, "Yeah, don't hang out with that guy. He's bad." It's like, all right, that's not really helpful. Anyways, you should still meet together and have some sort of capability, right? That's the point, right? The point is to have capabilities. There's safety in numbers, right? If there were ever untoward circumstances to the average population in America, you want to know people, okay? You want to just have some capabilities. You just want to, it's just like safety, okay? Because that's at the end of the day what they want. They want people to not be able to do anything. They want you locked down, alone, and afraid, because you're way easier to take advantage of in that scenario.
Absolutely. And it's unfortunate as well, because after being Fed jacked, people they don't want to listen to what you have to say, regardless of how right you may be or how good of a point you may make. You're the one that's making it, and they view everything good that you do is now some way that has to be spun to be bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the Fed stuff. I don't know how much more you want to talk about that. Let's talk about something funnier, because I actually remember when this went down. This was like, in my opinion, this is really bad PR. Okay, I think this is a terrible way to market yourself. Okay, because to people who don't know you, this is awful. It's so funny though. I remember watching this unfold on Twitter, and I was laughing, right? Because I do business stuff. I have a company. I sell stuff. I offer, discount codes and whatnot. I've lost money on orders, so I get it. But when I was reading this, I was like, this guy's like the most petty person I've ever read in my life. He is roasting this guy on Maine. And you bullied him too. You bullied him into giving you more money. It's so funny, this story. All right. Well, let me read this out real fast. So, to the patron, because you have like a Patreon group who you give out discount codes to. I have a Subscribe Star that I give out discount codes to. To get over $500 discount on a thermal and stacked it with free shipping. I'm going to honor it, but you just F that up for everyone. No more Patreon discounts or on anything OEM. I realize you want a discount, but you just F'd us out of so much money. Margins aren't that high on OEM equipment. We just lost money. Thanks a lot, bud. Now, there was a follow-up post to this, something about, you were trying to find like the cheapest shipping option, and you were like,
it was like 5 follow-up posts to this. I kept going. I just kept digging deeper. Yeah, there's just more pain.
Oh, okay, yeah, here we go.
I just kept digging, man.
Well, so it's like looks like the cheapest shipping option is only $100. Only covers $100 if it gets lost. Play stupid game. Hope it doesn't get lost, Chief.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
And then what's funny is after all of this happens on Maine, he then buys like an extra $500 worth of patches for a fundraiser or something. So the guy felt bad. And listen, okay, here's the thing. In my opinion, as somebody who runs a business who has similar setups to this, so to speak, when I've lost monies on orders, I've not been mad at the customer. I've been mad at myself for allowing that to happen, right? And so to me, I'm like, taking that out on somebody in public, dude, that's like, that gives me pause. I'm like, bro, I don't know if I'm giving this guy money. Okay, if he's going to take it out on me publicly when like I'm just using the codes he gave me, like, well, what? It's like, okay, I have like 1,000 discount codes for Guisley, right? If Guisley called me or like posted me on their main feed being like, we just lost $300 by John using this discount code, I'd be like, you're handing these out like candy, dog. What's your problem? Like, this isn't my fault. This is your fault,
I will say right off the rip, it's impressive how much you can learn in a singular year. And that wasn't even a full year ago. And I can still look back on that and cringe and be like, oh, bud. Oh, what were we thinking there? Yeah, no, that was when I was writing that, that's not how I thought that would read at all. Like, I was writing that like thinking, how I like motivate, like roughly and motivationally like bully fat people. And for some reason, I was like thinking that in like the same way of like bullying my patron of like, that there's no way that he didn't know that I had just started selling thermal and night vision that weekend, and that I wouldn't have the correct coupon code set up, that it wouldn't have worked, that the patron code wouldn't have worked for OEM stuff. Now, absolutely, it was 100% my fault. There's no way to see it any other way that wasn't 100% my fault. Dumbest PR move ever. And yeah, bullying my patron. I don't know what I was fucking thinking there, man. I'm gonna be real.
Well, okay, so I actually want to know though, how did that conversation go where you're talking to your patron guy and he's handing over like an extra $500, like he's refunding the coupon code that he used? Like, how did that work?
No, so he worked night shifts actually. So when he bought that, he had literally just got off work. So when I was messaging that, he wasn't even awake. So I didn't see he didn't even see me messaging any of that. He didn't see any of the posts until like halfway through the day. And he's like, so he saw all the posts, everything, and he's like, oh shit, my bad. I didn't even think about it. I'll donate some stuff to the Patreon fund and pay it forward. And with the Lethally Poor fund that he donated, we've given like a bunch of people rucksacks for free and some blankets for free. So I mean, it did pay it forward. But yeah, no, that the conversation, he was in no way, shape, or form was he like upset about that or anything, which he should have been. I'm gonna be real. And he had every right to be mad at me about that. And the backlash that I got from it, completely justified. 100% justified. If you know what, if anything, maybe I didn't get enough backlash for that because that was dumb. Like,
I Yeah, there's quite the peak of interest in that one specifically,
No,
right?
and
And
justifiably
essentially, it's like people usually don't take the company side, like even if it's a small company, right? Even if it's just a mom and pop shop or just a couple of dudes, right? If the
Mhm.
customer like exploits the system that you created, it's like, well, it's kind of like on you, right? So obviously, and then the whole drama about calling him out publicly rather than just canceling the order, right? Because you could have just done that too. You could have just used your right to refuse and just canceled the order outright, you
Well,
know?
that was the other thing. I think that like in my head, I was like, like, oh, this is gonna be a good PR thing because I still honored his disc. Yeah, no,
Well, maybe if you had been like, "Hey, we just lost a bunch of money on this order because I screwed up. My bad. We're honoring the order, but going forward, hey, we can't do this,
yeah, no,
Patreon discount on OEM stuff," right? There
could have
could have been
wrote
a good way to phrase that.
I could have wrote exactly what I wrote, and if I phrased it better and taken
Basically.
accountability for my mistake, then it probably wouldn't have looked absolutely terrible.
Well, and it's also, yeah, the follow-up posts like frame the whole thing where you're like,
Yeah, no,
"Hey,
'cause it just
buddy,
looks
hope it
worse and
doesn't
worse
get
and worse and
lost.
worse.
Hope it doesn't get lost, buddy."
Yep, no,
It's like, mm.
yeah, that's no.
All right. Well, hey,
Past Alex deserves to get beat for that one.
yeah, that. Hey, well, at least a lot of us make our mistakes privately, and we don't learn as much from them. So sometimes when you make your mistakes so publicly, then everybody gets to get their hit in the gauntlet, and then you get to learn faster, right?
Yeah, no,
Like
you
it's like
you
it's more
have the
painful, so you learn
opportunity to
faster.
learn from every direction.
All right.
Lord,
Well,
man.
now let's get into something that because I think we're on the same wavelength with this one. Maybe not quite the same, but talking about women in the I don't know what's right wing survival community prepper space. To me, it's like a pure recipe for disaster. What a terrible idea. Absolutely not. Do not do it. Now, I got a lot of people in my Discord, and I'm like, what? Why are you guys complaining about this post? Because I'm not a woman respecter. I don't believe women belong outside of the house for the most part, right? I'm total misogynist pilled here. So for me, I'm like this post like makes sense from a certain lens. But my guys, there was certain people who were like upset at this for like misogyny reasons, and I'm like, I think you're in the wrong place, buddy. Like this isn't a place for you here if you're a woman respecter. Okay. So it says to all the single women out there, I wish we could have you at our events. Women need to be training too, but this is not the environment for single women. I'm sorry, but this is not the environment for you to be alone. It's just not, especially open events. I don't know these guys. I cannot vouch for these men. I would have to assign a detail of my own guys to specifically hover and protect you. I would have to make accommodations that I do not have the logistical assets for. I cannot provide a safe environment for single women at events with men I do not know out in the mountains. Thus, we have a rule of new single women. You must be accompanied by a male family member, a boyfriend, or a husband. With that as well, you are just as much of a danger to me. All it takes is one false rape allegation, and everything I have worked for is ruined, which is true. This is not to say women shouldn't be training because you can and should, but you won't be doing it with me if you are single. That's just a wise choice. So until further notice, no single women allowed in our clubhouse. I wish it didn't have to be this way, but it does. Now, again, this is one of those ones where maybe you're just explaining it way too hard.
Oh,
Because I think
absolutely.
you can get the same message across by just saying, "Yeah,
No.
we don't want women at our events."
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Because I mean, from my perspective, like I've never had a woman on this show, like ever. Like I don't talk to women. All right, women are problems. Women are trouble. If I ever have to interact with a woman publicly or privately, like it's one bad conversation, one bad joke away from somebody saying that oh, he did this XYZ thing, and then you're labeled a rapist and a fed for the rest of your life. Now you're a fed rapist for the rest of your life, right? And it's just not worth it. There's no like think, what possible advantage do you get by hanging around with middle-aged floozies in the woods? None.
None.
Right? Especially as a married man, none. There's no benefit. Nope. This isn't Ram Ranch. Okay. We're not we're not paternity thumb. We're not looking for a new harem or something like that. Just no benefit. Get rid of them. No, thank you.
No, that was my main thing in the comments. So I was like, I'm married. Why Why would I ever want a single woman around me for any reason whatsoever? But yeah, like you said, and do you remember who BB Brent is?
Yeah, Brent 0331 or something like that from back in the day. He actually just followed me on Instagram with his new account.
Yeah, he got slapped with a supposed false allegation a few years ago, and that was one of the main reasons that I made this policy. I was like, I don't want to get wrapped up in some fake allegation. I mean, like while I was active duty, I saw guys get their entire careers ruined because of false allegations, and I didn't want. But like you were saying, it would have been so much easier to say no girls allowed. Like I didn't need all of that. That was not necessary.
Because it's an open event, I saw some people, I'll try and steel man their position. They were like, hey, well, you could just not invite rapists out and then you don't have to worry about it. It's like, it's an open event, my dude. How do you individually vet every person coming? Like, are you going to have an interview with every person ahead of time and you're just going to pretend that they're going to tell you the truth? Like, listen, you get 40 dudes up in the woods with alcohol and whatever else going on. And like, it's just like, things can go bad with just dudes. You add single women into the mix, and it's like nightmare.
Well, I mean, like we've had guys get lost out in the mountains, and to be fully sexist, I mean, I couldn't imagine a woman getting lost, and now we have to go find her. Like,
ma'am, you can't park here.
What was that?
Ma'am, you can't park here.
Yeah, like, there's so many reasons that I don't want to deal with any of that. But yeah, it didn't need to be this super long post. And we went from no single women to just no girls allowed. And it's just easier to just say this is a man's space, no women at all.
Yeah.
If you are married and you're already like in the internal group and like we've been training with you for like a year or years, then yeah, okay, the wife and kids can come around. If we're not doing like something where it's like, extremely physical and like we're going to be like off grid, no cell phone signal. And like if we're just hanging around camp or something like that, then yeah, okay, that's different. But yeah, from all this and from the backlash, we just said no girls allowed. It's like, this is a man only space. Go away. Go do woman things somewhere else.
Especially for the more like, because it's not a hiking group, right? It's not some hiking club that you're a part of, right? It's a little more serious than that, right? So like, I've never been to any sort of FTX event where women were even like a consideration. So that's never like, to me, it's just like the default. Like, of course you don't have women there. Like in a local group that I hang out with sometimes, like I've only ever seen one of their wives, and that's because we were at their house for a meeting. Like that's it, right? I'm not like, at no point does anyone need to be bringing women and other people into this that could potentially cause problems, right? It just seems wisdom dictates that we don't do this thing.
Yeah, we had an open PT test for just, and I made a YouTube video on it as well. It's just like anybody that's local that wants to do a PT test with us, we're doing a PT test, and that was last Saturday. And a guy asked if he could bring his wife and his kids to the PT test, and we're just like, no. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, dude, but like, if I want to be around just the boys and I want to be able to curse and I want to be able to like make fun of somebody, like, especially if it's one of my guys, I want to be able to make fun of him. And I don't want to have women and kids there where I have to now watch myself while I'm trying to bully one of my friends.
Yeah. Well, 100%. And it's just, it makes things more complicated, even for like safety reasons with like kids around and whatnot, right? Because then like the guy's distracted trying to take care of his wife and kids. It's weird. Yeah.
And it's just like,
now
hey,
here we have sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's like a lot of people take it as like, oh, you hate women and children. It's like, no, what?
Well, it's like, or I just take the other approach and just say yes, and then move on with your day, right? Just say yes. Anyways, like, what are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Yes, I hate them. Anyway. Now we have an OG hater here. He's been going off in the comments. Okay, Task Force Tater says, "What's your opinion on starting second families because the first one didn't work out?"
I mean, no, good, great comment, great hate. What's the alternative? Be alone forever?
Yes, be a man, be miserable, be alone forever. I agree. Now, actually, this does lead into the one other allegation that I had seen. Right, floating around, and this was okay. So let me see if I can phrase this. All right, I don't want to get into like the past history stuff. That's not relevant. But well, I mean, not like kids and wife. That's not relevant. But there was allegations of like, I'm trying to phrase this. You helping your high school girlfriend with her math homework?
Yeah. We were both in college, and she was doing her math homework, and people spun that. Someone actually changed the date on the screenshot, and they tried to say that it was from a date that I was still in the army, and they tried to say that that she was what date? I saw so many different dates. Somebody said that she was 13. Someone said she was 14. Somebody said that she was 16. I saw one that somebody was saying that I was actually in my 50s and that that she was in middle school, and I'm like, what? No. So I was married in the army. I got out. My ex-wife left me, as which, you know, like every veteran ever. Oh, wow. We're all so shocked and surprised that, you know, stereotypes are a stereotype. I started going to college. I met an 18-year-old and she was fucking awesome. I'm so sorry that, you know, every single gooner in existence, you know, is jealous that, you know, I actually found an 18-year-old. Oh, fucking sue me.
Okay. But just to be clear, two people in college. You were a little bit older, like what?
Thank you. Yes. I met
you
her
were 20, 26, 27.
I was 24, 25.
I mean, it's okay. So people are weird. Okay. Nowadays, people are really weird. And I think it is kind of like, it's really liberal in a lot of ways because people will be like, he's a consenting adult, you sick animal. And it's like, I mean, like, yeah, women are children just by default, right? A 35-year-old woman is a child, right? Sure. Yeah, I'll grant you that. But at some point, you have to just be like, if they're 18 and it's legal and, you know, you're not like some 41-year-old creeper who's grooming them from the age of 16. Did you guys meet before she turned 18?
Nope.
So you met her in college, 18, 24, 18, 25. I mean, I don't know. I can think of a lot worse age gaps than that. And I also do think it's a little strange because, like, how do I phrase this kosherly? If I'm 30 years old, like, I'm not attracted to a 35-year-old female, right? I'm 30 years old. I'm married, happily married with wife and kids. I don't care about any of that stuff. But if I was in the dating pool, I wouldn't be looking for an older woman, right? So for me, it's like, what, 22, 23, 24, and I'd be happy with that. It's not that weird of an age gap.
Yeah, it's honestly impressive how many people like take the whole age gap. But then again, like if you start going on Twitter and you start seeing, dude called dibs. You go on Twitter and you see people that are like saying that you know, like dudes in their 50s and 60s you know, shouldn't be dating women in their 30s. And they're like,
that's retarded.
Like,
it's retarded
all the time. And that just kind of proves to me that people are just stupid when it comes to age gaps, no matter what. They're like, wow, I can't believe she was in her 20s. I can't believe she was in her 30s. Oh, I can't believe she was legal. Blah, 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 blah.
You know what is funny though? Like, think about, so it's like you're both in college, you're 24, 25, she's 18, which is like, it's a little bit of an age gap, right? It is like a little bit outside the normal, but then it gets like exaggerated to where like, oh, he's 30 and she was 16. And then like the next guy's like, no, he was 14 and he was 40. And then it just keeps going until you're like, you know, Jeffrey Epstein with a 7-year-old child. And it's like, well, this kind of got blown out of proportion here a little bit. So I don't know. Yeah, because I was told it was a high schooler that you were dating when you were like 30. And I was like, well, that's weird. That's strange. That probably, you know, if you're picking up your girlfriend, you know, from junior high, it's like, oh, we now have problems, right? We have much more serious problems to talk about.
The biggest thing that actually, I wouldn't say like cleared my name, but the biggest account that helped me a lot, and I even let him do like an entire like deep investigation on me, was Shades on Twitter. And because there was, when I got off of she was unborn and he was 1,000. I am a demigod. When I'd gone over to got over to Twitter and started getting popular, then, you know, all of those rumors from Instagram did wind up following me, because why wouldn't they? And Shades reached out to me and he's like, hey man, if you are legit, if you provide me with all of your information, date of birth, social, all that, and you do the same for her, I will, and he was saying that like he had like a lot of access into doing like deep exposés, kind of like a CoffeeZilla and those private investigator guys. And he did a huge deep dive, said that I was legit and made a bunch of posts saying that I was legit. And from there and since then, I really haven't heard much of that drama, which was kind of a nice relief. And I wish that I could do something remotely similar with the Fed allegations. But at the same time, it's at a certain point, you just kind of have to, like you were saying, you have to just like say, some people are going to believe me and people aren't going to believe me, and you just got to push forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about the list of allegations you've been through, man. So you've been through the Fed, the rapist, the pedophile. Like, you literally got the trifecta of allegations against you. Next, they're going to say you're Jewish. Okay, that's the next allegation. So you're a gay and gay too. So gay, pedophile, Jewish, Fed.
I just did like this whole, like, because my mom did the 23andMe, and then the what's the other one?
The DNA. I don't keep up with the DNA test stuff.
I don't know.
Sure
my mom sold off all our DNA. Thank you much. Woo, go team. So she got all that back, and 0% Jewish. So
0%. And have you posted that publicly? Okay, because that was the thing. If you remember, you haven't posted it.
I have not posted that publicly, but I could.
Okay. Well, because I'm just saying, Fishback, if you remember the Florida politician, he was like, I'll post my 23andMe so you guys know, what exactly I am. And then he never did. And then you're like, why is that? Why didn't you just, if you have it, you should just post it, right? It's pretty simple. So,
well, I have
that complex.
Hold on. I have my mother's and my grandmother's, because my dad is dead, so I can't get his. So, oh no.
Apologies. Well, it only counts on the moms anyways, because they're matrilineal. So you wouldn't count if it was on your dad's side.
Okay, so I have my mom, so we're clear.
Yeah, should be clear. Okay, well, hey, that was fun. That was 45 minutes of intense interrogation, and I'm sure that'll rile people up. Yeah, 100%. Hoplophile says 100%. Nick, new inbox. Smith and Wesson MP Sport One owner. Okay, taking it all the way back to a Sport One.
Of course, Hop is in here. Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah, he's hanging out. Okay, well, let's talk about gun stuff. Okay, this will be more fun anyways. So Mod O Memes, a great meme channel that you should all post. He posted this to Instagram the other day, and I just want to talk about it because I agree. I love FRTs. I love the idea that we can circumvent NFA restrictions with like the world's simplest device. I like it from a technological perspective, from kicking the NFA in the nuts or whatever the people say kind of perspective. But the people, okay, who market the FRTs need to be taken out and shot. Like the people who hand them out to the nearest ethnic and say, just go hog wild and this is our marketing material. Like, you just need to be put through a wood chipper. Like, I think that's what should happen to you personally. I hope that's not too harsh, but I think the wood chipper is where you belong. So he goes on, he says, F it, there's a real issue in the FRT space that no one's got the balls to talk about, so I will. A ton of FRT manufacturers use low IQ blacks. Some would say that's redundant. Doing very unsafe, likely illegal things to promote their products. That's just a fact. So from here on out, I won't be recommending any brand that does that. Fortunately, almost all the ones I do speak highly of don't do that, but I did catch one today. To the manufacturers that see this, do better, represent yourself better. Don't forget, the people that want to take away FRTs are watching too. Just, I don't know if you guys ever see like XYZ new FRT company pop up in the wild, and the first video that they share to their story or on their main page is like an ARP, no stock, just absolutely sending rounds into the ether. And people are like, oh, look, they got this switch on it. Yeah, this switch on it, but it's legal. This switch legal. And it's like, hey, maybe you could stop doing that, please. Jake, what are your thoughts?
I just got back. I just had a very weird experience with police at my house. So,
whoa,
oh, really? What? Do tell.
Yeah. So I was sitting here and I thought I heard some tapping on my door, and I heard some noises, and I peeked out my window on my door over there, there's a little kid sitting out there on a phone. And it was just this
Uh-huh.
nonverbal autistic kid who was just shirtless sitting in my front yard.
I'm sorry.
So I had to call the cops, but they're taking him home now, so everything's all good.
So you have to call the cops on a little autistic kid on your front yard. Hey, it doesn't happen every day.
Hey, he's getting home, all right.
All right, but what do you think about the ethnicities of the FRT marketing departments, okay, that they put online, where the first video that you'll see from XYZ new marketing company is someone, with a Glock in 40, or an ARP with no pistol brace, just shooting rounds into the ether. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, they know their target audience. I tell you what. I don't know. I don't think FRTs are a distinctly like black or white thing, but the black and the white communities use them in different fashions, right? It's more of like
Very much so.
It's like a cool LARP thing for the white guys, and for the black guys, it's like I don't know, some kind of animalistic power thing. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's like a mating call,
Well,
I think at this point it's like blood memory, right? So it just kicks in. It's just like this is the switch. This is the switch. It's just what's the epigenetics? I think is the phrase for it, right?
I
So at
think
this
both
point, it's
sides,
just second nature.
I think both sides use them to just mag dump into trash, but in various different ways, right?
I mean,
Well,
there's like very limited legitimate use for FRTs. Obviously fun being number one, but number two, I mean, you could make the argument of like a long barrel bipod kind of setup,
like
but
the red
really,
right hand,
yeah,
the auto rifle
but it's
guys, the guys
still
that are like, there's a serious use for this, which is like the dichotomy, right? Because there's like the FRT companies where they're like, oh, hey, we're bringing freedom to the people, and this is serious tools for serious people. And then there's the other one that's like 3D printing in their garage, and they're like, I just want to sell these to inner city Chicago's. It's like,
yeah,
okay, fair enough, I guess. You want to just make money. I don't know, Alex.
yeah.
Do you have a take on FRTs as you're locked in Washington State, and they're not quite legal here? Some would say, not that it stops the average FRT owner from acquiring them.
Yeah, it seems I'm still confused if they're legal here or not legal here, because I keep hearing both sides of the house. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to touch an FRT. I firmly believe that full autos should be restricted to belt feds and submachine guns.
So what? You don't think a 17 with a switch on it is the most effective home defense tool? The most effective, group defense tool? Because I mean, the way that. Go ahead.
Oh, just handguns shouldn't be full auto for any reason ever. I mean, no, unless you're in like the inner city hood, I guess.
Well, when you think about it, the people that use switches, as they call them, really do employ them in a group defense strategy.
Yeah,
it's almost like peacocking. Yeah, exactly. It's not really about killing people. It's about making the loudest noise possible. And switches allow you to make the loudest noise possible.
You got that 33 mag on you.
That's right. I got the clipazine. I got that long clipazine, the stendo. Well, you know who actually... Sorry, you know who actually got the stendo dropped on him? This is actually from Larry Vickers, who I constantly forget is not in prison right now. But allegedly, all right, the Maduro raid. I put him on the thumbnail because there was like this little tidbit here, and I'm not sure if you guys have kept up with all the new contract rifles. I haven't, but allegedly the Delta guys, the CAG guys, the DevGru guys who went in to grab Maduro were using the new ICAR Surefire rifles in 6-ARC, which is the new, specialized bolt barrel, cool guy receiver with the new magazines, all that sort of fun stuff by Surefire. So allegedly, according to Larry Vickers here, I have it from a very good source that Delta used the Surefire 6mm ARC carbine on the Maduro raid with excellent results, which I do find that, if true, I find that very funny. We hit them with the discombobulator. That's the first thing that we did, of course. And then next up, the Delta guys running there with the new ICAR, which, that's a funny way to pressure test your new rifle. Is like, hey, you want to go on like the highest stakes raid of all time where we're extracting a foreign dignitary. They're like, yeah, let's take the prototype rifle. Let's field test that one. Okay, fair enough.
This feels fake. This feels fake and gay, honestly.
You don't trust Larry Vickers?
No.
All right.
No,
Wait, actually,
no,
speaking of feds, didn't he have to turn evidence on one of his buddies to avoid jail time?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right? Wasn't that part of his deal for importing machine guns illegally? Ugh.
Yeah, the Russian broad.
Yeah, GB Gun says, is Vickers out of jail yet? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he like never actually went to jail. He was just in litigation forever. So
yeah, I believe it was just stipulations that he had to give up a majority of his guns and a few other things as a result of that.
Goy beamed and then hit with the meme caliber, as Yamake says. What's up,
Jonathan? As I was dealing with missing children, did you ever get around to asking PNW the most important question of them all, the breakfast question?
Oh yeah, how would you feel if you didn't have breakfast this morning?
But I did have breakfast this morning.
See, you're joking now. Joking. That's not the right answer. That's a very ethnic answer for a man with that beard.
This is gonna haunt you for the rest of your life, PNW. It's over, dude. You think it's a joke? It's not.
Oh man, that's yeah. I think unfortunately, and probably a lot of guys in the audience can't rotate the apple.
Yeah, well, we actually have a guy who we hang out with sometimes. Logan sucks at shooting. He doesn't actually suck at shooting. But he actually has there's a word for it. The guys who do not picture anything in their mind at all.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Like it's gray. Like, so if he tries really hard, he can like picture a gray outline of something, but he actually has like no internal picture at all. When he closes his eyes, there's nothing. Just like wild, right? To me, who has like, a 3D memory and stuff like that. Like people who can't picture anything in their minds. He did have a part of his brain removed, to be fair.
Yeah, he got a mild lobotomy.
But people who can't picture things in their mind, like, I mean, they're kind of like field equipment or like farm equipment, right? They're like a different level.
Like that's like you're good. Like I'm not gonna hate on you there.
I mean, I will because it's funny, right? I mean, think about like closing your eyes and the entire world just goes black, like instantaneously. There's nothing, right? It's almost kind of like a terrifying existence, right? Because like when I close my eyes, like I'm still picturing everything around me, the people, the things, the places, what I'm going to be doing, all that sort of stuff. But just closing your eyes and it's like nothing.
That terrifying existence leads you down the road of anime, apparently.
Well, so here's the thing, John. It would only be terrifying for you because you know what it is to have that. He's never had that.
But it's such a weird. It just seems weird to me. Like
it is.
Like it's literally like an on-off switch. When you close your eyes, there's nothing. Whereas like it, for us, for most of us, anyways, there's still something when you close your eyes. I don't know. It's weird.
Like
I mean, John, if you were a black man, would you be terrified when you see a black man?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I guess it's a little different.
I would be arguably more scared because I have a higher chance of.
It's true. Well, listen, but you can't explain per capita to them, so it doesn't matter. They wouldn't get it. They'd be like, but white people commit more crimes than black do. See, look at the number bigger. Shit. All right. Well, speaking of that, actually, did you guys see that very important news? Okay, breaking news. I'm sure it's real. I'm sure it's not fake and gay. Speaking of fake and gay things, but the war in Iran is allegedly over. It's totally done. We're not fighting them anymore. We're not bombing them anymore. I'm sure that everything is now kosher. It's cool and whatnot. Even though Israel said that they're still going to bomb Christians in Lebanon or something like that, because they need to ethnically cleanse that place next, I suppose. But I don't know. Any of you guys have any thoughts on the war in Iran allegedly coming to a close?
It's not.
Yeah.
1984, the war was meant to be continuous, and as soon as we're done with Iran, we'll find another country, because the greater project has to be fulfilled, and it's not going to stop until it is.
Well, I think it's quite silly because it's going to be another one of those ceasefire moments, right? Where it's like, oh, there's a ceasefire with very little ceasing of the fire going on, right? It's like, oh yeah, they're still launching drones here and there, and they're attacking here and there, and there's still no ships are going by. So it's like, is it really a ceasefire? No.
No.
Is this really a peace? No, because I mean, Israel's already said that they're not going to be honoring any of the agreements that Iran and the U.S. have concerning Lebanon, which means that they're going to break the truce. Which means that, again, as long as Israel wants to continue the war will continue. Now, you said something there, Alex, about the next war, which is why I pulled up this clip from Jonathan Pollard. Now, famously pardoned by Donald Trump, the Israeli spy who sold secrets to our enemies. He was arrested by the U.S. government, was imprisoned by the U.S. government for quite some time, pardoned by Donald Trump for some reason, and then immediately sent back to Israel. And this is him talking about the next war, right? Because they're already like 2 wars ahead, okay? Iran's now, Lebanon's next, but at some point, you know what? Turkey is back on the menu. And they've been talking about this one for like 20, 30 years. Turkey is their next goal. So they're kind of like laying the groundwork. They blocked a sale of F-35s to Turkey. Somehow they have the power to veto Americans selling F-35s to Turkey. I don't know how that works. Israel does, but they did that. So they're laying the groundwork for this next war. And here is Jonathan Pollard, in his own words, laying out the plan for the next 20 years for Israel.
Not so sure that we will have as easy a time with the Turks as we've had with the Iranians. I've been following Turkish military doctrine, and
the strongest army in the Middle East.
The storm is coming.
Yes, of course. And they're a member of NATO.
And even worse, they're a member of NATO. So I look at Iran as a problem we absolutely have to finish. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Gaza, same thing, and the Hezbollah. Why am I fixated on this now? Because we have to be prepared for the next war, which will be probably against Turkey and Egypt. I'm not so sure.
Now, keep in mind that we're currently paying Egypt and Jordan to not interact with Israel.
I was just saying, we pay Egypt so much money.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that people who are super pro-Israel say a lot of the time is that, oh, well, we only give them a minimum of like $4 billion a year. Usually it ends up being a lot more than that. Usually there's a lot of other deals going on. We also pay Egypt and Jordan to not do anything. We also, guarantee their safety with a bunch of other countries. So it's not just the raw dollar amount foreign aid directly to Israel that matters. There's a lot that goes into this package. And this is, again, a national hero to Israel. Again, this guy is a traitor to America. He should have been executed. He's a traitor to us because he was a quote-unquote American citizen selling secrets to our enemies. He's a hero in Israel, just laying it out. They're telling you exactly what they're going to do. Post-Iran, post the collapse of the IRGC, if that ever happens, it's like, well, got to finish off Lebanon, then Egypt. Who's the next biggest power player in the region? Well, that's going to be Turkey. And they're like, well, they're a member of NATO, so we'll have to figure out how to get rid of Turkey while they're a member of NATO and not, getting everybody involved at the same time. They're already making plans, blocking the sale of F-35s to Turkey. They don't want Turkey to have that type of capability, yada, yada, yada. So the war in Iran is merely the next step for them. I don't think Israel has had a single one of its neighbors not get toppled successfully at this point in time. So their track record's actually pretty good when it comes to getting the U.S. to do their dirty work in the Middle East. And so unless something drastically changes with U.S. politics here, I don't think that anything is going to change in the Middle East in terms of warfare.
I also had to look it up because I couldn't remember. I knew it was thousands, but I couldn't remember. Since October 7th, Israel has broken 3,200 ceasefires.
That's it?
Yeah.
That's like, well, that's I don't. How is that even possible? Isn't that like 5 a day, 4 a day, or something like that for the last 3 years? Is that what they're saying?
You can literally just Google it. Like that's the first result, and it's like, oh,
That is, well, it's probably like because they had ceasefires in place, they're probably counting like every individual time they broke the ceasefire, which is that's fair, right? I would say the more important number is like the IDF admitted to killing like what was it, 75,000 children in Gaza, and they
many.
Yeah, and well, it's like that's the numbers that they've released, right? Which it's probably worse. Like you could just look at before and after pictures, and they're just like leveling it to the ground, right?
No,
Just
I
absolutely
made a video
leveling
on that recently of, if you look at all these, what we believe is third world countries in the Middle East, everything's rubble. And I'm like, well, where do you think that rubble came from? Those were cities. A lot of people don't realize that because they grew up, during Iraq and Afghanistan, that they forget that those all used to be beautiful cities, one point in time.
Oh yeah, it is weird to look back just a couple years ago at some of the infrastructure in Gaza, and it looks like modern. It looks like you could have just walked down like in a street in any European town or American town or something like that. It looks like very modern with like futuristic style buildings and stuff like that. Like big glass arches and stuff like that. Gross modern art, but still, it looks like modern. And then nowadays, it's all just.
If you Google Afghanistan college or girls in college, it's literally like women. There's like the beautiful streets, and there's women going to college, and they're not hijabs. They're in like normal clothes. They're in dresses, holding school books, and everyone views Afghanistan as this, just like blown to shit third world country, and it wasn't in the 70s before Russia and America, and then America again, and then America again.
Right.
Iran was the same way.
America for 20 years. Well,
Yeah.
Iran was a series of American interventions that did not go well, and that we directly led to where we are now with Iran. No doubt about that.
Yeah, that's kind of the funny thing about it. All these Middle Eastern countries are total shitholes because of either Israel directly or because of Israel's influence on us. Depending on what you believe about 9/11, mostly Israel's influence on us.
Well, it's regardless of what you believe about 9/11 itself, you can say that it absolutely worked to favor the Israelis. Like, even if you're not like all the way down that pipeline, it's not relevant. It absolutely played in their favor.
100%. But and now with this Iran thing, we're going down this path where we didn't win. Even if we signed a deal, like signing a deal is a loss, in my opinion. Like, I do not like the Iran war. But at this point, if we sign any kind of deal, we've given up. We've lost. Maybe we achieved some kind of strategic goal for Israel, but in the long run, we just kind of made everything worse. And we lost a bunch of military equipment, and we lost. Is the death toll still at 13?
It's 13
Something
today
like
if you don't count like some of the other deaths and stuff like that just happened to be like related to it. Like, today we had like a B-52 go down at Ellsworth Air Force Base in LA. I think it lost 8 crew members. That was on like some sort of test flight. So it depends how you calculate the numbers for the actual conflict itself. Not to mention like, thousands of people in all the neighboring countries, all of the infrastructure damage when it comes to like oil fields in the area, when it comes to the shipping delays, when it comes to the global supply chain, right? Because you're still going to be feeling the effects in terms of expensive power prices, expensive oil prices until 2027. There could be food shortages in certain areas because of the lack of fertilizer over the last, what is it now, 4 months? 3 months, 4 months.
Yeah, but it's
so. It is going to be felt. The ramifications are going to be felt for quite some time. The U.S., the top generals in the U.S., were urging Congress to approve more spending on munitions because of our reduced munition stockpile, like 2 years ago. All right, and we spent over $1 billion a day in terms of defenses, in terms of interceptors, in terms of all of these things to try and keep our neighbors and Israel safe in the Middle East, right? And so now I imagine our stockpile did not magically get better.
No.
over the last 12 weeks of fighting or whatever it has been. I
were
imagine
so
it's actually
low.
an even worse than it was, which again means that we can't sustain any sort of real conflict. Like now, China's not going to do anything in Taiwan or anything like that. But just hypothetically, imagine if they did, right? We would be at a much reduced capacity for actually stopping them from doing something, right? Just because of our reduced logistical supplies.
Yeah, I mean, we've sent a lot of our stuff to Ukraine. That's where it's gone, right? That's why it's why we have such low stockpiles, which is just being used to kill white people, which is just awesome. I love it when white people kill each other. And then the whole win conditions for this war, right? We're not going to achieve any of them. Trump is saying that we'll sign this treaty and then they'll let us send people in to go collect the nuclear material. Wow. I doubt it. I doubt any of that's going to happen. And is that really worth everything that we're going through right now? I really don't think it is. It is
so
really
other
upsetting.
than allegedly, so nobody's seen the exact details of the deal, but allegedly it's like all of the sanctions get removed from Iran. They get X amount of dollars in terms of like their assets and whatnot returned to them, which is like billions and billions of dollars, right? And they get to, at some point in time in the future, maybe turn over their nuclear material, which probably will never happen. It's also like impossible to verify that. I don't know how you would verify that. Because I mean, how would you know if you got it all? How would you know if they gave you all the enriched? Like, it's not even possible. And to be honest with you, like from Iran's perspective, why would they ever give up their one possible line of safety, which is a nuclear weapon? Why would they willingly give that up? Right? Because from their perspective, the only thing that can protect them from Israel and by extension the US is some sort of nuclear deterrent.
Yeah. I mean, if I was Iran, I wouldn't be giving up my nukes. I'd be hiding those in every way possible I could.
Well, I mean, would you trust the benevolence of Israel and the U.S. to not try the exact same thing again after you give them your biggest playing card?
I mean, the only people that do are either paid off or have been brainwashed to know tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And it honestly is fascinating how many people have kind of come around to pretty much the same opinion since the days that I was back on Instagram. It's nice to see how many people are kind of on the same page with us.
Well, that's kind of what I want to move the conversation into. So we've seen this I don't know what you want to call it for lack of a better term, but like a general right-wing movement of the people, the great noticing, some would call it, but we've seen that become very normalized. So from my perspective, like the war isn't worth it at all in terms of like military goals, right? We're not accomplishing any of our military goals. It's not worth it in terms of gas prices. It's not worth it in terms of like the dead, the losses on both sides, all of that. However, in terms of public sentiment, I think that it makes it impossible for normies to ignore it, right? Because normies can ignore it when it's just politicians blabbering on TV. They can't ignore it when it's, why am I paying $6.50 at the gas pump for a gallon of gas? It's like, what? Why am I doing this again? And then it's like, for the first time in history, it's like 2/3 of the American populace has a general negative view of Israel in the Middle East, right? Mm-hmm. You see, like, Instagram and X are, little short clips. There's some pretty cool hard style edits going around, and it's radicalizing normies. So it's like, maybe socially, I'm actually fine with the war in terms of what it's done to wake up the average person. So maybe there is actually some real long-term benefit here.
Yeah, but in the same rate, it also goes back into the, it does play into their hands because it's part of their prophecy that we hate them. So, I mean, it makes sense that because I've seen this countless times as well of people that are trying to defend the war saying that like, oh, it's not bad and it's not evil and it's not, an actual genocide, because if they wanted it to be, then, it'd be over tomorrow. And I agree that if they wanted it over tomorrow, it would be over tomorrow, because they could level Gaza in a day realistically. But they are drawing this out, and they've been drawing it out, and they're allowing it to be publicized, and that's the biggest thing that I find that's fascinating on Twitter and on Instagram. Looking back on the days, like 2019, 2020, when I was on Instagram, you say anything that is slightly wrong, and you get ban hammered. Now you could say the Overton window has shifted, and it has, absolutely. But at the same rate, we are being allowed to have these conversations. And that is one of my biggest questions, is why? Why are we now being able to have these conversations and talk about these things?
Well, so that's kind of the two schools of thought. So I don't really agree with that position, but your school of thought is like they're allowing the message to get out there. They're using that to sow distrust. They're using that as some sort of jumping block for maybe some future crackdown or something like that. Or the flip side of that, more of my position is just the cat gets out of the bag because the cat always gets out of the bag. Like you just look
at which both make sense.
Yeah, well, so from my perspective, I'll just explain it. The cat gets out of the bag because the cat always gets out of the bag. Like it's just happened over and over and over and over and over again for the last 2,000 years since Titus Vespasianus, destroyed the temple in 70 AD, right? The same thing just happens over and over and over and over and over again. So if I had to predict the future, I'm just going to say that, you can see these... I don't know what's a kosher word for it? These individuals who run certain sections of my lights, for sure. Turn back on. All right. You can see that they're already trying to make inroads. Yeah. You can see that they're trying to make inroads with places like China or places like India, right? And they've already made statements like, India is the next hub of Jewish culture, right? You've seen this sort of like integration. So maybe their plan is just, yes, things will go bad in the U.S. Things will go bad in the West. So once they do,
America's just a golden calf.
Well, I mean, essentially, it's like we are useful to them right now.
For now,
we are Yeah, exactly. And when we're not, we'll fall into infighting, and we'll fall into killing each other, and they will just move to the east.
And thankfully, that when that happens, our country's been flooded with millions of people from the third world.
Exactly, right. That's the point, right? So it's like they weaken us as much as possible so that we're not a threat to them. But as long as they can use us, they do. And then once we're no longer useful to them, and we're killing each other, and we're destroying ourselves, and we're balkanizing, or whatever it happens to be, they're already off to the next thing. They're already off over there, right?
And what's great is that, while that's happening, the vast majority of people in the gun space are just complaining about dumb drama.
Because that's more important,
right.
obviously.
That's more important.
Well, but think about it this way. If you just turn on your stream or whatever it happens to be, and you just scream, the Jews 24/7, like everybody just turns it off.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Everybody's like, yeah, we get it. Move on, right? So, like, at some point there has to be, as from a content perspective, like from trying to make something entertaining and people interacting with it, there's like a really fine line of how edgy you can be for so long, right? Because even then, like we see like the edge merchants over time, they just get boring, they moderate, or they just get burnt out and they leave, right? Or they get so schizo that they just delete themselves from the internet. Like, not saying Risky Frisky's done that or some of these other guys, but sometimes you get people that get a little too schizo, and then they're like, okay, I'm bouncing out, I'm done with it, right? So from a content perspective, it's about having some sort of balance therein where you can appeal to normies, but you can have a more hardcore fan base. You can have people that can have more difficult conversations and whatnot, right?
Speaking of appeal to normies, will Rabbi Peely be making a return anytime soon?
Rabbi Peely has been on vacation for a while. I will be back in South Dakota next week, so it's possible. But maybe, I don't know, for Halloween this year, we got to do something bigger. We got to do something better than just than Rabbi Peely. Okay, we're gonna do something cool,
better,
right.
Blacker. You think what I'm thinking, John?
Well, okay, so I thought about doing blackface for Halloween, but I'm like, I don't know, man. Because comedy can get away with a lot. Okay, if it's categorized as comedy on YouTube, you can get away with a lot. All right, but I don't know. Like, That's one of those things where maybe this won't look good in 20 years. Okay, when our Overton Palantir overlords are going through my social media history and they pull up this image, Elon Musk going to turn off my Neuralink chip? If he finds this image of me in 20 years.
Nothing you do on here will look good. Okay, just don't be delusional. Okay,
That's what you're worried about. Out of everything we've done, that's it.
Ooh, dress as an IDF service dog for Halloween.
I was gonna say
Not bad.
you could even do light skin blackface and get some blue contacts.
Yeah. What if I did bronze face? Well, actually, we're at such a weird space in like right wing internet e-girl place where like there was that, I forget her name, but the right wing e-girl who did blackface for like an entire stream or something like that. So I mean, it's people do it. People have gotten away with it. It's quite funny, but I don't know if YouTube would appreciate it all that much.
I think a lot of people freaked out over that and then realized that she is half black.
No, not Brittany Venti. Brittany Venti. It was a white girl, like a white blonde girl that did it.
Oh,
yeah,
John,
not Brittany Venti.
I gotta derail a little bit. We have a question from one of our esteemed guests or one of our esteemed followers, Lost Arrow. He asks, PNW Guerrilla, who is your favorite Uma? Are you familiar with what an Uma is?
Am I supposed to know what that is?
Yeah.
All right. Well, wait. You're not familiar with Uma Musume?
I have no idea what that is.
Super Creek, Manhattan Cafe. Don't ring a bell.
Am I uncultured?
No, you're probably too cultured. Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. The less you know about Uma, the better. Okay. Do not the Umas.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. The Fuhrer has returned. Yes, Lily Gaddis did blackface. That's the girl's name. I forgot who it was. Thank you.
Blackface Friday. Oh my goodness.
Blackface Fridays. We're bringing it back. All right. Speaking of Blackface Friday, okay, we're keeping the variety show rolling here because Lucas Botkin did an interview today with Ben Sager talking about just the industry as a whole, his new company, a Lethal Corporation, right? And the interview I thought was fun. I thought it was entertaining. It went down some silly little rabbit holes, but there was one part of it that I wanted to talking about Aero Precision, because we've been on a roll talking about Aero Precision. I don't know your thoughts on Aero, Alex, being a Washington native when they were here, and it was cool. I used to work at a company that sold them their materials. Not our fault their parts were bad, okay? Actually, I wonder if they ended up owing the company I used to work for money. But anyways, Aero's like $50 million in debt. They don't put out anything. They technically still exist, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on Aero as a whole, Alex?
I think that they handled them falling apart it was just really terrible. They could have just been open with why all of their stuff was taking forever to go through. They could have told people, because there was so much. And I remember going to SHOT Show and so many people asking, what the hell's going on with my order, and go up to their booth and please ask what the hell's going on with my order. So that they probably just handled it, I don't say worse than I handled my night vision PR, but they still handle it pretty bad.
Yeah, well, you both went to the same marketing company or something like that. You both had the same marketing.
I probably took the cake for worse marketing, but they could have done better.
Hey, no, you probably did better because you said you would ship the product, and you did that.
I did.
Whereas they never did. So, but anyways, this is him talking about Aero and something that they. Talking about their marketing, okay? Think about their marketing in the back of your mind.
Fix things.
What do you think about Aero going under or going away or whatever?
Well, here's the. So obviously, I worked with. Well, I would say I worked with them. I did a video on a gun, and I guess I could say it now. Their words to me after we sent them that video was, "Hey, what do we need to do to make this not get published?" Was their words to me, which I did not like.
So allegedly, again, Aero is like, hey, this video, which I think it was back when he was at TRX Arms, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, talking about one of their AR-10s or something like that. And the thing would just not run. Like it was garbage. Like everything was coming loose on it. They had to switch out a bunch of parts, all of this. And the company is like, hey, buddy, how much, what number do I need to put on this check to make this video not go live. Like what can we do to fix it? Which is crazy to me. Okay, I've had people C&D me. I've had people threaten me, call me names. I've never just had somebody straight up like, tap the checkbook on the table and be like, "Hey, buddy, what does it take to get rid of this right now?" That's hilarious. And again, keep in mind that this is a company that at this time is like tens of millions of dollars in debt, and they see another bad video come out and they're like, "Just kill me now. Okay. I'll do anything. I'll do anything to get this video down. Anything, please."
No. Wait.
Yeah. Which is funny because I feel like a negative video from one of these guys is actually worth a lot of money in terms of sales. So if they had been like, I don't know, Lucas, here's 50K, can you please take this video down? Like it probably would have actually been worth it to Arrow to save them from the reputational damage of a bad video, especially like I don't want to name names specifically, okay, but there's some other big content creators who do not put out negative videos because they talk to the companies and then they work it out behind the scenes about not uploading videos that are negative, right? So they have a very curated uploads. What's the word? Upload. Or that just their YouTube page in general is very positive because any negative video never gets published because they take care of it behind the scenes. I think that's a kosher way of saying it. I did not say Stooch. It's funny, but I did not say Stooch. We lost Alex. Alex is gone. Damn it.
You know what they say about Alex?
They got him.
I'm just kidding.
I have no idea what they say about. I have no idea. I didn't say Honest Outlaw. I would never say that.
Do we need to look the video up again, John? The Keemstar video about Alex?
Yes, we actually do. That was so funny. Dude, actually, is Goat Doctor, is he around? Because I want to talk to him about Israel. Goat Doctor, because he comes in, he always complains, but I don't know if he is the guy that said he wouldn't come on or if the guy he said he would come on at some point in time. Because if you want to come on, bro, just I'll have you on. We'll talk about it, bro. It'll be fun. I did not say Colin Noir. Okay, just to be clear, I didn't say Colin Noir.
PNW said his internet got the goy beam.
Well, I don't know. I always think it's my internet because obviously, I'm off of Starlink right now. But like my video's been okay for you guys, right? Other than you guys not telling me I was on the wrong mic for 35 minutes.
I thought that would have been addressed pre-show already. I thought, I guess that just is what it is. And then someone mentioned it in side chat about a webcam mic, and I was like, you know what? It does kind of sound like a webcam mic.
I thought it was
I thought
sorry,
it was
the sock filter.
No, it was just literally a different mic. Goat Doctor says, I would come on, but we don't disagree on much, mostly just the Islam simping. See, you're already lying here. You're already lying. So we have stuff to disagree on. Not a single person here has ever simped for Islam. Not a single person here wants a single practicing Muslim in their country. Not a single person on this panel. Like, that is a outright lie. Like, please point to one point in time where I have ever said, yes, more Islam. I would prefer more Islam, please. Never happened. It's not real. It's not true.
I think one time you did say Islam was close to being right about women.
Well, yeah, but it's like progressives are right. It's like I can agree with certain free Palestine positions, okay, but that doesn't mean that I agree with them or support their ideologies wholesale, right? It's like me and you can disagree on something, but agree that 2 + 2 is 4. But it doesn't mean because we agree on this one thing that I adopt your whole worldview, okay?
Yeah, and I definitely don't want those Palestinians coming over here as refugees. That is the worst case scenario. We do not want that.
Yes. No. You know what? Only if they're from South Africa. That's really the only refugees that I'm interested in. We'll take them. Okay. South Africans, actual Africans, don't deserve you. You're far too good for them. Well, I don't know if Dr. Goat's going to come on, but let's get to your guys' super chats. Wall.
He got scared,
Alex
John.
is what's up?
He got scared.
He got
too many hard-hitting questions. He just had to get out of here.
Well, we got past all the questions though. We were just talking about silly stuff now.
I had the biggest question coming. He wasn't ready for it.
What's your big question, dog?
Well, there were some allegations right before the start of the stream in the side chat, and it said that he, I probably can't even say it on here actually. Someone made the allegation that he uses human fecal matter to crank his hog, and I just wanted to ask him if that was true or not, because I thought that was a pretty crazy allegation. I think it was Poop Dynamics who made that allegation, but he's not here. Pretty convenient.
I don't know what he's on about. That is quite funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hope Alex gets back. If not, thanks for hanging out, man. Appreciate it. Mr. 9x9, he's not even going to get to experience Big Toe Money live. Mr. 9x19 for $20 says, let's do this Big Toe Money Monday. Free Dugan. Christ is king. Thank you very much. Mega based, Mr. 9x19.
Honey, this is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good, your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money, that's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody's
Base. Thank you, 9x19. Actually, you know what? If somebody else sends in another Big Toe Money, I think we have a new version for Jake to listen to. I haven't heard it yet. I have not heard it yet. But if somebody else sends in another BTM, then we will absolutely listen to that live with Jake. Because what else are Mondays for, right?
Live Jake reaction.
TND says Copper Tone for 2. Appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Andrew Webb for 7 months says Pacific Northwest Guerrilla was my first based pill in 2020. There you go. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, 2020 was a wake-up call for a lot of people, myself included. All right. Lon Harichi for 2 says, even Trench has the balls to not wear a mask.
Yeah, and you use somebody else's name. I don't understand the mask thing. It's like, why does everyone want to see my face so much? Are you guys gay? Do you want to kiss me on my lips? Is that what it is?
Oh, that was weird. You made it weird.
Of course I made it weird. I make everything weird, John.
Hey, he's back. Let's go.
Welcome back. Did you hear my question?
No, I didn't. I was sort of watching, but I ran out of the house.
Very convenient that you missed that. Why does everyone want to see my face?
Well, apparently Poop Dynamics asked a very personal question about your private time, and I don't know. I don't really think it's too relevant. Jake, do you?
I mean, it's maybe not relevant to the current conversation, but it was pretty crazy allegations. So I didn't know if he wanted to address the rumors.
I'll address whatever. I don't care. What I missed.
So we're gonna. I'm sorry, John. So earlier on, before the stream started, Mr. Poop Dynamics, he's a longtime viewer of the stream, great guy. He made the claim that you use human fecal matter while you are cranking your hog. You use it as like a lubricant. Is this true, or is this just false allegations?
What was his handle again?
Poop Dynamics.
So Poop Dynamics is asking me if I work it with poop.
Yes.
No, I do not.
We just had to clear that up. I hope you understand.
Okay, can I also make a statement that if you do that, and after we win, we find out that you do that, sorry, it's been a good run, but you shouldn't have let us find that out and, be seeing you in the afterlife.
Well, you say that, but I know a place where 1 billion people do that.
And you can do that there.
Central Sans Defense for 5. Jake, shut up. We're moving on. Central Sans Defense 5 says pulling pews at Culver's over the Midwest's best cuisine. I'll allow it. Thank you, Central Sans Defense. Appreciate that, sir. St. John's Crusade for 5 says, I miss 2020, risky, Pacific Northwest, Allegheny County Rescue Co., different times, peak Instagram.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I feel like that time, that was when a bunch of the big accounts got zoinked during COVID because there was a crackdown on information. And then only now, like 5 years later, are we actually getting that slowly built back up. Wyatt for 5 says you should call Pacific Northwest Guerrilla just PNG for short. I think it works well. All right, PNG. Carver for 2 says Focus Mark 1 ran perfect with the Super Safety and Super 42. Thanks, John. Well, you are quite welcome, Carver. I'm glad that upper is working for you. Grinder Admin for 5 says we can promise you that's not how they met, and they hung out way more than 3 times. Oh no. Talking about Mr. Coleman. Thank you, Grinder Admin. Grinder Admin for 5 says he's 100% not a Fed. We know. We've seen him naked. Man, Grinder coming in hard with the allegations here. That's wild. Central Sans Defense for 2 says Pacific Northwest Guerrilla and I have never worked together. Allegedly. The Goy Beam got him again, dude. I thought he was just like stone cold, like Chama, the entire time. Just nope. Turns out the Goy Beam got him once again.
I feel a little bad for asking that question. I feel like I broke him a little bit.
I can't believe you used his 5 megabytes of internet speed to ask him
It's
that.
important. People wanted to know,
That was the last
John.
question he's ever going to get on the internet, bro. Vandalay for 2 says Alex is my favorite Fed psyop. Aw. Lightsport for 2 says, hi, Jake. Hi, John. Hi, 4-foot bearded guy. Well, I'm pretty sure Alex is taller than I am. Thank you, Art Vandalay and Lightsport. Appreciate both of you. Patterns for 10 says, Gorilla Man, love the content, but someone in your warehouse sent me an open, rotten can of beans in a Hookman, and opening that in my apartment was not as funny as I'm sure they thought it was. I'm going to save that for him, and if he comes back. That's terrible, man. I'm saving that for you. Oh, no. Rotten beans in your apartment complex. Grinder for 5 says, sorry, but Washington State is gayer than us, and that is saying something. You're not wrong. The people here are gross. Well, Patterns has another one, which we will get to if Alex comes back, okay? Judge Holden, member for 7 months, says ODGG is the first 4-letter Fed agency. Yeah, I mean... So, like, I want to be, like, charitable as much as possible to people, right? Because I don't know what good it does to Fed jacket everyone. I mean, there is some benefit in being, like, everyone is a Fed until proven otherwise, right? But at the same time, like, the Feds do not need a small company to get your address. Not a thing. They don't need... Like, because I have customer data. I do, right? People buy stuff from me and I ship it to them. So I have, like, phone numbers. I have emails. I have addresses. I have names. I have, credit card info. I have all of this stuff, right? So you could say, oh, is XYZ person has access to this information. They're going to turn it over to the Feds. The Feds already have all of that. Like, if you have anything online, the Feds already have that. So, like, how useful is a small mom and pop shop for collecting people's information? Right? It's like when they could just get all of that from Facebook, X, and Instagram. Like, that seems way easier to me. Lightsport for 2 says, sounds like a self-report big dog rape. All right, Lightsport. I don't know what that means. Grug Hullabunga for 2 says, trauma. Thank you, Grug Hullabunga. Appreciate that. Coppertone for 2 says women have cooties. Thank you for censoring women, by the way. That really
so true.
There. Thank you, Coppertone. Todd Dogs for 2 says Feds are everywhere. Pacific Northwest got spared. Leave him alone. I mean, listen, okay. He'll admit that he did silly things when it comes to, like, the crashing out on the customer for using a discount code, which I think is the funniest one, personally. Slimy Chud for 5 says, I believe 100% Jake Power bottoms for Randy Rosen. No! If this is not true, then show toes.
Okay. I'm not gonna show my toes. All right. I see what you're trying to do there. But secondly, if that was the case, I would be literally dead. I would not survive that encounter. You don't understand the fear, the physics problem involved there. It's just too much. I would die.
Wait. Randy's wife takes it, or Randy's girlfriend takes it, and you can't, Jake? You're not built different?
No. I'm just not. I'm not built for that, John. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you, Slimy Chud. Art Vandelay for 5. John hating women and implying he loves men for CZ month. I see you, big dog. Hey, listen, okay. Me and gays, we agree on women, okay? We do. Doesn't mean we ally on every issue. Okay, there's a couple issues we disagree with, but me and gays, we get it about women, okay? Thank you, Art Vandelay. Lightsport for 2 says, very libertarian code, age of consent, head ass. I mean, Jake, okay, what are your thoughts on this? You're a youngish man. If you were interacting with, like, let's say an 18, 19-year-old girl who's a consenting adult, and you two were like, okay, this works out, this makes sense for us, let's start a relationship. Is that like out of the question for you as a youngish man?
I don't think that would be something. Oh, he's back. I don't think that's something that I would be interested in personally, because I'm not. I think there's just a little bit too much of a gap there. But technically, legally speaking, it's not a problem. I'm sure some adult men who are less mentally developed. I don't know. Probably like 25. I'm 29, maybe 23. I don't know.
23?
20s, in the 20s. That's probably where I would go.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, Alex. We were just going through the super chats here. Is your internet back? Is it working okay?
I have no idea how long it's going to last, though. I have the highest internet package I get at my house, and it still cuts in and out when people get off work and get home. I don't know.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear it. Paulie B for 2 says, polling 18-year-olds is a crime now. Envy and L posting. Well, again, it's in context, okay? If you're 24 and 18, like that's like, I think my mom and dad have a 9-year age gap, right? My mom and dad are great people. They're wonderful. They raised great kids, all 7 of us.
No, they're evil.
So again, like age gaps in and of themselves, like whatever. Thank you, Paulie B. Again, it's different context whether you're like 45 and you're grooming a 16-year-old and then you get together when they're 18. That's a different story. That's different. It's not the same thing. Tom Dogs for 2 says, be glad Pacific Northwest sells Alice. Your Molly will be trash one day. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Alice versus Molly? What's wrong with Molly?
Molly is superior in every way, and Alice sucks. And all the people that like Alice are old and coping.
I agree. Thank you, Tom Dogs. Well, like I don't own a single thing with Alice webbing. Not a single thing.
Really?
I don't think so.
I think that's like most of my gear.
Really?
Well, no, I rock the South African chest rig, and that's not Molly.
Grug for 2 says that girl was promised 3,000 years ago. Grug Holobanga. Polly B for 2 says, guns, great time to do dishes. Thank you for fixing Mike. Yeah, my apologies, Polly. My apologies. Get it out. Sorry, what?
Do you want to go back and get that one, the $10 chat?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Alex, if you could, there was this patterns guy here who had a couple questions for you specifically. It says, Guerrilla Man, love the content, but someone in your warehouse sent me an open, rotten can of beans in a fuck bin, and opening that in my apartment was not as funny as I'm sure they thought it was. And then he follows up with another one and says, maybe I'm just bit made, and I gets it. It's a lottery, but sending a paying customer actual rotting garbage is just sub-Saharan IQ. That was disgusting.
Yeah, so we had a fuck bin where we thought it would be funny to open up the cans and then put them into Ziploc bags. And we didn't allocate at all for the people that lived on the other side of the country, and then people that got packages redirected and lost. And yeah, never doing that again. I offered people refunds. I was like, hey, we thought it was really funny, and we didn't think that through at all.
I had an ice cream too.
Yeah, it was funny until it wasn't.
Yeah, that's one of those ideas where it should stay an idea, you know, that should stay on the drawing board, you know. It's like, that's funny, but what if this turns into a hazmat biohazard, you know, in transit? Okay, do you remember, this was a while ago, years ago, there was this black chick and she was selling like this pink sauce. And it was like unpreserved honey, and so it was not shipped or transported properly, and so half of it just turned into like straight poison. You know, and it was like actually sending people to the hospital.
There's
It's like
class action lawsuit against her.
Yep. Yeah. Woo. Lightsport for 2 says the women don't have to fear me. You men do. Thank you, Lightsport. Get It Out says I don't hand out any FRTs to Browns. Fair enough. Trout for 5 says for Jake, everything you wanted, and he's right. Fucking hear me. Thank you, Trout. I appreciate that. Todd Dogs for 2 says Jake cries out in pain as a mental needs kids is on the porch. It's true.
It's very true.
Just Some Space Cowboy for 10 says I bet Logan can picture Umas in his mind. Anyways, night gents, another early morning tomorrow. Well, hey, I hope you're having a good. I think he still has 15 weeks of deployment. So good luck out there, Cowboy.
John, you lost your mic.
My bad. I don't know what. Sometimes I need to get a new cable. But anyways, that guy still has 15 weeks of deployment. So good luck out there, man. Grug Holabunga for 5 says, let's not forget Zognald already said Iran had no capacity for nuclear weapons years ago. Well, here's the thing, right? You want to know a trick? Anytime Iran, Israel, or the US is making a statement about the other, they're lying. It's this really easy pneumatic trick you can use. They're just lying. You can't trust anything they say ever for any reason about anything. That's it. So whatever they say now is not relevant in 5 minutes. Thank you, Grug. Appreciate that. Like, as far as I'm aware, is there, you know, they could be lying about the peace deal, and Iran could be like, there's no peace deal. I don't know what they're talking about. Dillweed for 5 says Blackface Fridays based. Coppertone for 2 says you should go as Carmelo Anthony for Halloween. The watermelon felon. Yes. Watermelon felon outfit for Halloween. That is based. Thank you, Coppertone. To Media Source for 10 says I've got a dude that used to work with Arrow that still owes me $25,000 in 2A stuff. Not surprised. 25K is a lot of money. I don't want to owe any one person or corporation or anyone $25,000. That's way too much. Todd Dogs for 2 says Jake cries out in pain as people try to kiss him. Okay, all right. Bullshark for 5 says awesome that you had Alex on tonight. When are you having Raymond Ibrahim on Redoubt to talk about the Al Zut? We could have him. We could have David Wood on. Any of those guys. That'd be fun. I think that they're kind of silly people, but we'd be happy to have them on. Thank you, Bullshark. Bullshark.
Wi-Fi again. I'm just giving up. If
We can
if
still
this
hear
went out
you.
a third time, I'm just giving up.
We hear you. We hear you.
I understand it, man. If you got to go, I appreciate you giving us your time and whatnot. But if it's not going to work, it just is what it is, man. Bullshark for 20 says, Jake, you thought you could get out of this? Show me that. Big toe money. Yeah, you're coming in and out, Alex. But hey, guess what? If you stick around for just a minute, okay, you are about to witness one of the greatest things ever made. Maybe, okay? And it has to do with an inside joke in our community. And the joke is Jake's toes. The fact that he just continues to show them over and over and over again.
I don't though. Okay.
Oh, it's still going. Okay, that'd be a great place. That'd be a great place for it to cut.
Do with Jake's toes. That's it.
Beat, I'm out.
Let me see. I gotta download it first. I'm trying to pull it up. Okay.
You didn't have it prepped?
Well, no, I didn't have it prepped. Okay. I cannot actually even pull up Discord at the same time because my laptop does not have enough RAM to run like Windows and Discord and Brave and the stream at the same time. So I'm very limited on resources here. I have to manage. I have to it's like a inventory in a Arma game. I've got to manage it. Oh no, I heard the first 2 seconds of that, and I think this is going to be mega cringe. Jake, are you ready?
No.
No. Well, that's not helpful. 1 second. Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Here we go. All right, here we go. Pose hotline. I apologize to everyone in advance. I'm sure this will be very cringe, but here we go. $20 is $20.
My toesies like you wanted me, calling me all the time, like Jiggy. Check out Logan's horse behind. It's fine all of the time. What else is in the Reese's or pieces like T-Bump by speeches, huh? Huh? Right. Uh-huh. Right. T-O-E, stay in school cause it's the best. 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 Sucking on my toesies like you wanted me, calling me all the time, like Jakey. Check out Logan's horse behind. It's fine all of the time, like T-Bump, ice peaches. What else is in the Reese's of pieces, huh? What? Suck the toes away, right? Suck the toes away, right? Suck the toes away, right? Suck the toes away, suck the toes away, suck the toes away.
Did we lose it? I had to listen to that when the Wi-Fi goes out. Oh man. What a stream.
Y'all are about to see me eat my Glock live.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I cannot blame him for leaving. That was what was that?
Oh, there's more versions of it.
No.
I'm
No, that was not a banger. Okay, it was so funny because of the reactions, but I did not need white girl hyper pop. Suck the toes away. I think that was the line. I couldn't even hear it very well. Was it suck the toes away?
I think so. Yeah. Some people say it's a banger. I don't think so, man. It was not worth $20. That's what Coral Weezer said.
It used to be a gun channel, by the way.
Yeah.
It used to be.
Yeah. Hop is right on the money though.
That was very funny.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hate everything. Especially you guys.
That's how it goes. Woo.
Yeah, that's the last. I hope everyone enjoyed seeing P&W Guerrilla on the stream. He's never coming back ever. He's been scarred.
What it is. Oh my God. All right. Big Slice for 2 says, am I tripping to say that Pacific Northwest was aware of a narc? Yeah, you can go back and listen to his explanation of it. It's up to you to decide whether you believe him or not. Thank you, Big Slice. Polly B for 5 says, John trying to stream videos. I'm limited by the technology of my time. True. Thank you, Polly B. Lightsport for 2 says, how do I refund my super chats of the past year? This is not a banger. This is not a banger, and I know bangers. Thank you, Lightsport. Bullshark for 2 says, I want my money back for the real BTM, LOL. Yeah. That one, not as good. Not as good, Bull Shark. I would immediately contest that charge if I were you. Immediately. I'm not even gonna feel bad. You know, it's like, I get it. I would contest my charge. Honestly, I would go shoot Andrew if I were you. I would just go, nope. Not a banger. Over on Ko-Fi, Paulie B for $20. Palette cleanser here, Jake. Okay. Palette cleanser for you. Really? This is what Pacific Northwest is being hung for? Lowbrow Fed jacketing 7 years ago, foot and mouth disease, and misogyny. Wig sauce. These aren't skeletons in the closet. At worst, some cringe fashion choices of bygone years. God bless you, Alex and John. Christ is king. Big toe money, OG type. All right. Fair enough. Thank you very much, Paulie B. I appreciate this as a palate cleanser. Jake is even after that last travesty. Jake is actually happy to see this one.
This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy. I'm too gone. Hey, Jake money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy. I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Jake money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
Honestly, that one earlier really made me realize it can get a lot worse.
True. It puts everything in perspective. Listen, it could always get worse, Jake. Sometimes you gotta be happy. Count your blessings, bro. Waifu's enslaved. Jimmy's unrustled for 10 says, I'm glad you're finally interviewing a real leader. Who else is selling surplus, telling men to build community, and posting YouTube videos of yourself ranting at city-level politicians? Jokes aside, it is a tasteful throwback to COVID. Do you have more alt accounts or families? Well, just the two families. I think Alex just has two families. That's how it goes sometimes, okay? Not for me, but, for other people. Oh, Jared for 2 says, my bad, Jake. I was just trying to find a spot to watch the stream. I don't know what that's in reference to.
He's saying he was the autistic kid at my door.
Oh, that's good. Jared for 2 says, cool it with the antiseptic remarks. We'll catch the rest eventually. Christ is king and God is good. Have a great night, gents. Well, thank you very much, Jared. I appreciate that. Okay. Well, now that Alex is gone, we can actually get down to the serious, hard-hitting news, Jake. Are you ready for Monday Night Rage Bait?
I think I'm going to dip out too, guys.
All right. Just me and you, Jake. Well, you have a wonderful night, Richard. Thank you for hanging out. Good, sir. Hope you're doing all right after the storms this weekend.
It was rough. I've still got a whole bunch more trees to cut down. That's why I'm going to try and get to work early so I can get off early tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night. Appreciate it. Wait, Bull Shark. Why are you dropping another $20? You want another butchered? No, you don't want another butchered big toe money. That's not happening, right? Do you want the OG, or are you just dropping another 20 to make up for us having to listen to it?
I think he's just he's paying his penance. He's trying to atone for what he's done wrong.
Well, if you're throwing $20 just to throw $20, no, he says the OG. He says the OG, okay? Which fine, we'll play your OG, okay, Bull Shark. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, but here, $20. We'll make it up to you. Another palate cleanser.
He's punishing me.
Another one for the good guys.
This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy. I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy. I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Jake money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
Damn, they still, after all this time, Jake, they still love big toe money. It's crazy. They're going nuts in the chat. Absolutely nuts in the chat for those dogs.
I don't get it.
Maybe they do understand. Your feet where they should. Yeah, true.
Cope and Badger. Come on, guys.
I love that rap version where it's like, I don't even got a house, don't even got a spouse. That one there is like my favorite Big Town Money.
That one just hurts me. Okay, it hurts me on a deep level every time. It's very sad.
Noobcrastinator, don't do it. Don't do it, Noobcrastinator. Thank you for not giving money to Indians. Oh, perfect. Woo! Sorry, Noobcrastinator over on Ko-Fi for 3 says, after that version, I might have some good lawyers for you, Jake. Also, I know we all want to get to 100% ASAP, but could we please get there before I have to fly in August? We're close, okay? Have faith. We'll get there before August. We got plenty of time. We got 2 months. We'll be fine. All right. Well, Jake, now, okay, we can get to the serious, hard-hitting topics. What is this even?
Is it niggas?
Spoiler alert, it's black people once again. Now, I think I didn't get to some of this stuff last week, which was annoying. So we're going to get to it now because I have the time to do so. And it's still somewhat relevant, somewhat important to talk about. It's just like, these people just suck, okay? These people just suck. I don't know of a better way to put it. But certain individuals out there are really ruining it for everyone else, okay? They're just not being cool, okay? I think that's the harshest I'll go. They're just not being cool, okay? So here you have a real picture of an African gentleman pissing on the grave of Austin Matthew Metcalf, who was murdered by Carmelo Anthony, all because the jury came to the correct decision of convicting him of murder. Unfortunately, he won't actually get the true level of justice that he deserves, but just for the, like, black people are like women, okay? Women's kryptonite is accountability. If you try and make them accountable for anything, they lose their minds, okay? They chimp out, they woman out, okay? Like, accountability to these people is the worst thing imaginable because they believe that they are all like one monolith, right? That they act more with a lot more in-group preference than a lot of us do, okay? And maybe as URF says, yeah, I think we were actually judging them by the content of their character all along, you know? All right. But anyways, so Joel Webben posted this: black culture is a plague on America. Lord, please grant repentance. I agree. Sorry, go ahead, Jake.
Didn't I saw claims that this one was a fake image?
No, it is not an AI image. It is a real image. The guy said that he would come back the next day and poop on it. I'm not sure if that one actually happened.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, what wonderful people here. Now, Jake, me and you, okay, we've made fun of some Mormons. We've done that. You know, we've talked to them. We've poked some fun at their religion, you know, collab and God, man, and a bunch of other really weird internal beliefs that they have in their doctrine, so to speak. However, I will say I've never met a Mormon that wasn't nice and kind. Okay, I had them as neighbors when I was in college. I had them as neighbors growing up. Like, great, wonderful people, friendly, helpful. I'm sure there's bad ones out there. Of course, somebody out there has horror stories of, you know, whatever cult that they were in. But personally, lots of great Mormons out there, okay? This guy just happens to be sitting there on the side of the road fixing his bike as they're doing their door-to-door mission. I think they have a mandatory 2-year mission that they have to go in on as part of the Mormon church. This guy's out there dressed nice trying to fix his bike on the side of the road. And he is just getting accosted by a ghetto hood rat, which is many euphemisms for our favorite little word. Rachel Whistling posting, I'm to the point where simply hearing somebody speak like this should qualify them for immediate deportation to Wakanda, which again is why we shouldn't listen to what women say, because people that speak like this should be dead, not deported, okay? Deported is such a left-wing liberal option that I think that we true conservatives, true right-wing moderates, okay, should employ harsher punishments, okay? There's none of this...
One of them niggas.
None of this women-coded deportation stuff. Okay?
One of them niggas back in the day, bitch, I'll fuck you the fuck up, nigga. You heard me? You lucky you ain't in jail with one of us. You lucky you ain't in jail, nigga. Beat the fuck out you, bitch. Nigga, beat the fuck out you, bitch, and make a nigga fuck your pussies. Make a nigga fuck your pussies, bitch.
And this guy, who they're usually supposed to go in teams of 2, so I don't know where his buddy's at. But man, probably not carrying a gun, right? Probably not kosher with Mormon missionary practices. But if I had a guy, getting up in my face, threatening me with sexual assault and a few other things, especially if I was around like my wife or kids, like there's such a cheap, efficient solution to these types of people, right? Was his buddy actually, if his buddy is there, like he needs to intervene and be like, excuse me, kind sir, I would really appreciate it if you would let my friend here continue to work on his bike. Okay, would that be all right with you, kind scholar, if you would just kindly back up and give us some space as we work on our bike? Is that all right with you? Man, imagine, you're right. So Mormon missionaries, they can get sent like anywhere in the world, right? They can go to Ireland, they can go to Iceland, they can go to Europe, they can go to Africa, they can go anywhere, okay? And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Mormons in the chat, but if you can like put in like where you would like to go, where you quote unquote feel called to go, but at the end of the day, they kind of just send you wherever. So imagine like you want to go to like Europe. You're like, oh, I want to do my mission here. I feel called to go here. And then they're like, Chicago. It's like, damn it. Yeah, right. Because you're gone for 2 years, right? You're like, damn it. It's like, all right, they need to like, listen, okay, Mormons, you guys were based in the 60s, okay? Like, figure it out. If you're going to do Chicago mission trips, like, you need to provide some additional security. You guys got the funds, okay? Protect your missionaries, okay? The Mormon church has the money.
And store to take all your time and all that, your white caucus or a cave. Bitch, I ought to kick you in your fucking nose, ho. I ought to kick you in your fucking nose, bitch. You lucky Jesus saved your ass today. Jesus saved your monkey ass. Look at this bitch face. He talking about he believe in God. That bitch got all kind of fucking goddamn fucking draconians in his ass. Look at the archon in his face.
This guy, I feel bad for this guy because he's probably not actually equipped to deal with this level of monkey, right? Because he probably doesn't like understand what's actually going on. And he is actually like incredibly lucky that he doesn't get stabbed or shot here, right? You never know. Like, he's not equipped to stop this guy. He's not equipped to defend himself. He doesn't even know what's going on. He's just defaulting to his like nice, kind, like bearer state of existence. He's like, I'm not going to confront this guy. I'm not going to push back on this guy. He's yelling at me. I'm non-threatening. I'm sitting here. I don't know what's going on. Like, he doesn't get like this animal that's accosting him hates him. Like, actually hates him and would have no moral quandaries with killing him. Like, if this black dude shot him in the head and left him for dead, would not lose a moment of sleep. He does not care. He is not like you. There's nothing behind the eyes, I guarantee it.
Yeah. And I saw this one a little while back on Instagram, like a couple days ago. And I mean, I don't know if I should say kudos to the Mormon kid, but like, good job not doing what everyone in this chat wants to do. Takes a lot of restraint and self-control. Now,
well, I don't think he has restraint or self-control. I actually think he does not know what to do here.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't look super scared necessarily. He's just kind of,
he looks concerned to me because he is a young man. He's like maybe 18, 17 years old, somewhere in that range.
He just doesn't look like he's not like pissing his pants and like he's not talking at all. You know, I would think if someone was super scared, they'd probably be like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, whatever. But, you know, I'm not sure. I don't know what is going on in this video other than a classic American chimp out. Classic.
He think I'm scared of that shit. Bitch, I'm a chaos guard, bitch. You ain't scaring me, bitch. Get on your fucking broke ass bike, bitch. Get on your broke ass bike and get the fuck on. Yeah, carry that motherfucker. You got Caucasoid muscles, bitch. You drink protein and drink protein shakes and vitamin waters, bitch. Carry that shit, bitch. Carry that shit. Then you make our people carry cotton and all that shit. Yeah, go across the street, bitch. Get the fuck on. You hear me?
You're
probably lucky. So his buddy was there. So he is probably lucky that there were two of them. If he was by himself, he might have. gotten actually physically attacked.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what half the words that dude said were. Like, I don't know what he was saying. He said something about caucasoids, vitamin water,
We was Kang's protein.
caucasoid muscles.
He said something about making us pick cotton, which is funny.
It is funny, yeah.
He's black looping.
Get the fuck on, you hear me? Look at these motherfucking niggers. Get out of here, nigger. Get out of here, nigger. Get the fuck out of here, nigger. Yeah, that's right. Blow out them bitches, brother. Run them bitches down. Run them bitches down. Ain't no bike lane, bitch. Ain't no bike lane. You get hit, bitch. You hit, bitch. Ain't no motherfucking bike lane, ho.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't want to. I don't want to share a country with these people. I'm just not so interested. What a disgusting lack of humanity. And it's the dichotomy too, right? You have two young men, young white men here who like want to hang out. They want to, evangelize with their silly fake false god religion. But hey, we got Alex back. How's it going, man? You
No way.
returned from the great outdoors.
So, you know how I was saying that I might not be able to make this stream because I was trying to call into my local charter meeting?
Uh-huh.
So, public commentary was still going. So, I went down to the house, got Wi-Fi, called into the local charter meeting, bitched at them about trying to keep our local sheriff a voted position instead of an elected position, and then realized that I still had Wi-Fi, so might as well hop on back with you guys. Bit of productive evening.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. So at least you got to multitask there and yell at them. So wait. So they were locally trying to change it from an elected sheriff's position to a appointed.
Correct. So they, our local charter and our local government, absolutely hates my sheriff. So they have this whole petition thing going, and they have like meetings 3 times a week, and they're trying to make our local sheriff appointed by the state, and they're trying to take power away from the people to be able to vote for who sheriff they want.
Right. Oh, of course, right. They want to control all of the institutions and soft power and all that sort of fun stuff. And sheriffs are actually very important. Especially in places with draconian laws, your local sheriff can be very, very helpful to have.
Yeah,
Actually,
they actually
since
already
we're-
changed it up in King County, up in Seattle. That's an appointed position now.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about this actually before we got cut off, but we were actually just looking at a clip of a couple, I don't know if you saw it, a couple Mormons getting accosted by a young scholar on the side of the road, and they were unequipped to deal with the problem, right? In my opinion. I think that they were like shocked. They didn't know what to do. They're like, what's going on? I haven't done anything wrong. And they kind of like shut down and just like awkwardly walk away. And they're very lucky to not actually have like negative physical consequences, right? Because if one of those guys was alone, if he didn't have his buddy there, if there were more of the ethnics around, like that could have gone very, very poorly for them. But actually, I had somebody ask, wanted me to ask you, on your thoughts on religion, what you practice, if you're comfortable sharing that, and what your thoughts are on like the state of modern evangelicals, if that makes sense.
Yeah, not a fan of evangelicals at all. It wasn't until recently that I found out that I was actually raised evangelical, and I didn't even know it. Which is like actually, like, oh, okay. I guess I missed that somehow. But no, even though I don't agree with Mormons on everything, I made a YouTube commentary video on the Mormon attack and that lovely scholar going up and sharing his wise words of wisdom. I do believe that Mormons get more hate than they deserve, especially of every other denomination. Now, I understand. I don't agree with their religion. I think their religion is silly, to say the least. But I do firmly believe that they get way more hate than they deserve. As far as my personal religion goes, I don't know why I phrased that so stupidly.
Religions,
My religions, yeah. I was raised Christian evangelical. I got out of it for I'd say pretty much my entire 20s. Now that I'm mid 30s, I'm getting back into it. I've been reading my Bible. I've been reading the Book of Enoch. I've been doing a decent amount of research, and I'm getting back into it. it's a lengthy process. There's so many questions, not enough answers, but I am definitely getting back into it.
Oh, cool. That's good to hear, man. I was raised in a similar way. I was Southern Baptist growing up, which isn't like necessarily evangelical, but then, through college and whatnot, I didn't really have a specific denomination to call home. And lately, what I've been doing, which is, as you say, like you get into some of the other stuff, is looking more into like church history and some of the early church fathers and some of what they said, and like, the differences between like Orthodoxy and Catholicism and stuff like that. But yeah, no, that's awesome. That's good to hear that you're looking into that. Did you want to look into the book of Enoch just because of the fantastical elements? Because
Yeah.
it's a fun like little side tangent where you're like,
It's
I don't know what this is, but it's cool.
So it was absolutely because of the Instagram Tataria reels.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And going down that rabbit hole, and then how many times in the book of Enoch, in Genesis, and then Psalms that the Nephilim are referenced, and that is just a wild rabbit hole to go down.
Oh yeah, 100%. Did you see, was it Father Stephen DeYoung? I think he was on Tucker Carlson talking about the Nephilim. It's really interesting to learn about them from the Orthodox perspective about what these things are, what they represent in the world. So if you haven't seen that, I would recommend looking into that. Father Stephen DeYoung is an Orthodox priest. So
Yeah, I'll absolutely have to look into that. I've been getting a lot more into Tucker Carlson as of late. Sam Hyde and Tucker Carlson have been kind of like my main YouTubers that I've been watching lately, which I guess some people would say that is like normie slop, but
I don't know if I would consider Sam Hyde normie slop, but I mean, listen, okay, people have to appeal to normies. It's fine. Tucker Carlson, like I'm always
Yeah,
torn
I
on
meant
him because
specifically Tucker Carlson as normie slop, not Sam Hyde.
yeah, I'm always torn on Tucker Carlson because there's some things where he's just like so obviously wrong about, or he just doesn't know about, and there's other things that he's like pretty good on, and then sometimes his guests are just like absolute like nonsense merchants. But again,
I don't
I think it's
believe
fine to appeal to like a wide audience. I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't believe that, because I've watched quite a few interviews that he does now where he's like pretending to not know things. And I'm like, there's no way you don't know what Patreon is. Come on. Like, you're telling me that Tucker Carlson in 2026 has never heard of Patreon? Like, no, I don't believe that. Like, he probably acts like he doesn't know things for engagement and start conversation.
Well, yeah, I think that he's a conversationalist and a bit of a chameleon, right?
Well, I mean, Joe Rogan does the exact same thing. The wow, really? Oh, they did what? And it's like,
No
bro, come on.
way.
Yeah, like
Well, okay,
you know what he's
if you're a
talking about.
podcaster, half of your vocabulary needs to be whoa. No
Whoa.
way. Really? Like Sean Ryan, it's all every clip you see of him is him
No
being like,
shit.
no way.
What do you do
No
next?
Wait, so you're telling me? Then he repeats exactly what he was just told? Yes,
Yep.
that's right, bro.
No way.
Absolutely. All
So
right,
true.
man. Let's where were we at here? We're talking about this. So, well, I don't know. Growing up as an evangelical, was it in your experience? Because I'm curious to hear other people's experiences with growing up in that sort of church. Was it very pro-Zionist for you? Because I grew up like Israel is our greatest ally. It's in the Bible, therefore we must do everything they ask us to do. Therefore, they are correct about everything, and we need to bless them and send them our money and our missiles because that, you know what, blowing up Gazan children is what helps make God happy with us. Like
Yeah.
that's how I was raised.
So, and I hate to to take this this answer or give this answer because it feels like a cop out. But I actually and unironically do not remember most of my life from before the military. And I'm not even kidding. I don't remember.
That sounds like there was some sort of a traumatic event that just blocked out your childhood, bro. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, actually, probably.
Oh,
But
that's terrible, man.
Yeah, I don't remember the majority of my childhood, like high school. Like there's just like there's large gaps of time that just aren't there. And like I hate like giving that answer, but like it's just the truth. I don't know.
Damn, man. Well, yeah, I told you my growing up experience with that was basically that, yeah, you are commanded to support Israel. It was a very, boomer mindset. And then you look into like what the church fathers said about the Jews of the time, and they were, not so complimentary of them. Famously said that, if you there's no greater enemy to Christianity than to Jews, and this is like in the 3rd and 4th century, right? Because at the
Mhm.
time they were trying to undermine and trying to Judaize the faith and trying to convert it to their will, which is the exact same thing that they're doing now with and using the tool of modern evangelicals to spread their power base, right?
Yeah, did you hear about the 1,000 pastors that Israel trained to send to America?
Well,
That's
so it was something like they paid for all these pastors to come out to get training and then to like come visit the Holy Land, and you'll get all these talking points, and you'll get to see the beauty and all this sort of stuff, and all get paid to like essentially support Israel, right? So
Yep.
they're trying to use religion, specifically evangelicals, as a form of soft power, right? As a form
Yep.
of influence. They're trying to have like they have the economic sphere, right? They have the media sphere, they have the education sphere, they have the religion sphere, and they're trying to use all of these things to have like, a hegemonic control over information, over the way that people think, which is why, again, they're trying to exert all of this control over people. They're trying to influence the way that Americans think in their day to day life. And to see it like fail so spectacularly in 2026. I mean, I guess I understand why people think that it looks suspicious. Like there's got to be some other play at work here. Why are people being allowed to do this? Why aren't they cracking down harder? But at the same time, I mean, I think that the cards just fall where they fall over and over again, right?
Yep. No, if you and mind you, like I've said, my YouTube videos do not get engagement. I couldn't tell you what in the world I'm doing wrong, but I recently did a collaboration with Pastor Dale Partridge, and our last video was talking about the Israeli question, and if biblically if Jews are God's chosen people, and it was a fantastic podcast, and he does have a lot of interesting perspectives to bring to the table that I hadn't thought about before, and hey, and yeah, it's such an interesting conversation that you can go into theologically, you can go into just from like a norm. I think, like you were saying earlier, going into it with like a normie standpoint and how like normies view all of this, like that is probably, I wouldn't say the truth, but like so many people no longer have a good viewpoint of this, and it's probably only going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you put the toothpaste back in the tube at this point, right, with these people. So I didn't realize that Dale Partridge, he's on Joel Webbin's network, isn't he?
Yes.
Is he part of that group?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've been
I
I've been
also
enjoying him.
I might be doing a collab with Joel Webbin. We'll see. But I mean, it'd be great. But I also think that they're trying to go for more like hardcore Christian guys. And as I'm kind of getting back into the faith, I might not be the ideal influencer for them. I'm not sure though.
Right, the ideal candidate.
Yeah.
Well, no, but that's cool. That's good to hear, man. I'm glad to hear that he's reaching out, branching out to different groups of people. Ostensibly on the right wing. I mean, I don't really know how you consider yourself politically. I just generically use the phrase right wing. Right.
I don't even know anymore because it's just like everything's so corrupt, everyone's so paid off, so bought off, everything feels so fake. So it's like, what do you even call yourself anymore? Like,
No, dude, you don't get it. I'm the realest, most authentic, true right wing chud incel imaginable, bro.
I don't like. At a certain point, it just feels like political pronouns. You know, it's like, what are your political pronouns?
That's that's a good way of putting it, right? Well, in a way, it's a way to virtue signal and piety signal, right? It's like I
Well,
have the correct political opinion because I'm a true libertarian crypto eco-fascist, okay? And
yeah.
unless you're in my cool group, then you're not good enough, bro.
Well, and that's actually something like all these like stupid little titles. It just feels like more ways for us to divide ourselves and more ways for us to divide ourselves. Like, oh,
Well, actually,
you're saying,
well, so moving back to that point there, like obviously your like mindset, your goals have changed over the last several years. So like with your mission, with your reason for being, so to speak, like what is your purpose? What are you trying to accomplish in your community, let's say on the right?
well, I would say the biggest thing right now that I've been preaching the most of and that I want the most of is men to get physically active again and at a minimum, just get some damn friends. So many people are so unbelievably alone right now. So, you know, all the guys that are calling for, you know, like, oh, we want a civil war, oh, we want a race war, oh, we want this. I'm like, dog, you don't even have friends. You don't have friends and you're fat. So at a minimum, we need to start talking about, you know, what's your draw time? What's your 1 mile run time? What's the closest friend that you have to your current wherever you're staying at night? Do you have somebody that you can call? It's 15 minutes away. So like before we can start answering any of the big questions, we have to start at the absolute bottom because so many people have just, I don't know, I wouldn't say given up, but like the demoralization has just taken over for the Western man, and I'm sick of it. So I guess yeah, that's my biggest fight right now. It's been my biggest fight. I just uncovered one of my videos from like 3 years ago, and I'm like, wow, I've been saying the same damn thing for 3 years and probably longer. But yeah, that's probably my biggest mission right now is just more men need to be more active, more men need more friends, and more men need to, I don't know, stop hating themselves as much as they do.
Well, I think that they're especially in our online sphere, people are just terminally online. So they lose sight of what's actually important. So it's really easy to be on here staring at Jake's toes all day, but that's not helpful. That's not useful. You got to actually do something in the real world, in your own life, right? And that is, if I could sum up your slogan, it's touch grass, talk to dudes, which
Yeah.
sounds essentially it's like you I do love the LARP, the apocalypse rifle build, the apocalypse optic and all this other stuff. And it's like, dog, you don't have any food or water or friends. So
Yep.
it's not none of this stuff is relevant at all. Also, it's just I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen in that way. So
Wait, did I lose the Wi-Fi? this
John, I
time?
think your mic muted.
Oh, his mic muted.
lost it
Okay.
again. No,
Oh,
my
it wasn't
bad.
me.
My
We
bad.
just
No, no,
heard you
no. So
say,
anyway, so
so.
you the individual are the smallest unit of any group, of any community. So you do have to start with yourself. Okay. That's the easiest thing to control is like what you do, right?
Yep.
Using your time effectively. Maybe you shouldn't be playing, I like games, okay? I like playing. I like, all the other stuff that you do. I like podcasts. I like YouTube, all that sort of fun stuff. But maybe you should use your time a little bit more effectively. Maybe you should be concerned with your, what can you do in terms of physical output? All of this sort of like really generic stuff that sounds so simple. But you remember like 10 years ago, Jordan Peterson's like entire message was like wash your hands or and clean your room. And it
Yeah.
was like, wow, revolutionary. But
Yeah.
a lot of people actually needed to hear that apparently. There's a lot of what's the word for it? A lot of low skilled lobsters, a lot of low tier lobsters that they just need help, okay? And they got to learn to do some stuff for themselves. They got to learn to do hard things. Like just today, I was out walking with my 5-year-old, my 5-year-old son, my 3-year-old daughter. We're walking like 2 miles. It was hot outside. And he was like whining the whole time. And it's like you just talk to him, like, listen, man, all right. I know that it sucks. I know that it's hot, but it's gonna suck regardless of if you're complaining or not. So just stop complaining about it and you'll have a way better time. Like just get out there and do it. Okay. Yeah, I know you're sweating. I'm sweating. Like it doesn't matter. We got to get home. So it's like, what are you going to do? Stop? No. You're just going to have
Yeah.
to keep walking.
It's so real. And yeah, that was something somebody told me recently, and I kind of struggled with that, like as a like content creator, which sounds so cringe, but like a lot of people are looking up to you, whether you like it or not, as a surrogate father. And so when you give advice, you know, that matters to a lot of people. When you mess up and when you have really bad PR, that's going to matter to a lot of people. You know, it's surrogate father also. What's the other phrase for it? What's the one thing where people are like in love with you and they don't know you?
A
Parasocial
parasocial relationship.
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know when you have awful like horrible moves publicly, it's going to affect a lot of people more than you think it is. And when you do things positively, it's going to affect people more than you think it is.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and that's why like they I got a lot of flack for calling out people who do like stupid things in the industry, right? But some of these people like try to position themselves as the role model. Like I'm the family guy. I'm the good guy. Look how trad I am. Look how based I am. Look how red pilled I am. And then their life is like a complete mess, right? And they don't walk the walk. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And it's very important, right? Because if you're going to be putting out this message, if you're going to be influencing all of these men who I'm concerned with, and you essentially betray them and stab them in the back, like you make people lose hope. And so it's very important if you are an online figure, if you are in a leadership role, that you keep yourself accountable and you have other people to keep you accountable.
And I think that's a and you know what, I do appreciate you for that, and I think that even myself, you know, I need held accountable by my peers, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with me being called out and me being told that I did something stupid or I did something wrong. It's like, no, I should be held accountable by my peers. Now I'm not going to be held accountable from, you know, some random anon account. I don't care what you have to say, but you know, other people in the industry, other people that are also looking up to themselves, like, yeah, holding other people accountable is not a bad thing. But the point that I was trying to get at, that I think is very important, especially for myself, is that it's preaching that it's okay to make mistakes, that it's okay to screw up, and it's okay to learn, and it's okay to move on. It's okay to look back at yourself and be like, wow, dude, that was cringe, that was stupid. But you know, it is what it is. I'm going to move on and I'm going to learn from it. Want to interject real quick?
Well, yeah, you can't just cut people out. You know, you can't just leave them on the side of the road, be like, "Oh, you made one mistake and now you're done for. We're never letting you back into the community. We're never doing that again." Right. There always has to be a path for redemption for all these people. But I mean, like yourself, like you came on here, we don't really know each other. We never really talked, but you were willing to come on and just have a conversation, which I appreciate, right? And be candid about whatever it happens to be, politics, past, all
Mhm.
sorts of fun stuff.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people said that the conversation died with Charlie Kirk, and I don't think that the conversation died. I think that there was a void that now needs filled, and that, you know, it's not that we should stop having conversation; it's that we have more of a responsibility to have more conversation.
In a way, I mean that's kind of like the watershed moment, right? Where I think the conversation has changed, like from converting your enemies to like trying to make more friends and trying to shore up like your own people, right? Trying to expand your base, right? Because I don't know about you, but I don't have much rhyme or reason to try and debate some super lefty tranny gun person like the better way or sorry, better way 2A for all type people. I don't
Yep.
have anything in common with them. Our goals are mutually exclusive. There's no reason to try and waste my time there, right? They have made the bed, they may lie in it, right? And so, but for my own people, for the people who are on the fence, who are on the edges, who can be converted, who I can reach, who I can help, those people are my target audience, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I've actually in the last few months and even just this year, I have made amends with quite a few people, and I've like rekindled friendships with people because, as we have said, and I don't know how many times I've said, since I would say specifically since Charlie Kirk passed, but I guess we could use that as a reference point. So many people have come together with the concept that we have bigger fish to fry, and we do need friends now more than ever.
Mhm. Well, right. I mean, there are some rather strange bedfellows being made in the background, right? Where it's like, I never really thought I'd be hanging out with these people or working with these people to reach our mutual goals. But okay, fair enough. You know what? I'm willing to make the sacrifice for the time being.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, Blackheart Defense, he has a question here. So it says, can you ask Pacific Northwest what he thinks is a good mile time? What's your standard for your PT test?
I believe it's well, okay, so the issue is that our PT test run time is the very end of the PT test, and we do quite a bit of things. So it's an 8:30, which is absolutely terrible if you want to be technical. So I'd say, yeah, 8-minute mile, give or take. Like anyone under the age of 50 should be able to run an 8-minute mile.
Fair enough. Yeah. Jake, do you run the 8-minute mile on your toes exclusively?
I'm just not going to answer that question.
All right, man. Well, hey, we're heading towards 3 hours in here. I'm going to get to the rest of this support, and then I was going to call it a night, man.
All right. Yeah, I'm just kind of along for the ride.
Okay,
Kids are already asleep, so I got nothing. I got nothing better to do.
Oh, Dan, your kids go to bed early. I still got like 45 minutes of them being up. I'll get to go in and say goodnight to them before we're out of here.
What's 8:45 here?
Well, I'm in the same. I'm like an hour north or an hour south of you. So yeah, I mean, still light outside. All right, we don't put them to bed when it's still light outside. That's like punishment for a kid.
Well, my kids are also sick right now, so.
That's fine. Dick Cheney's Heart for 5 says, now that Richard is gone, when are we replacing him with an Indian from Fiverr? That's true. I could have an Indian do it for cheaper, dude. Imagine with my audience bringing in an H-1B Indian just to sit there and like do nothing in the corner of the screen. That would actually be very funny, but for different reasons.
Sir,
do not redeem. Sir, where is my paycheck? Sir, you promised me housing. Why am I here? What is this label called the rape chamber? Polly B for 2 says, Hank Hill whispers, black people. Thank you, Polly B. And then we have Brad Harvey for $2 says NIGGGER. They almost got it perfectly. All these guys sending in $2 super chats. Brad Harvey, I appreciate that. Bull Shark throwing in the extra G. I appreciate that. Yeah, just in case you didn't know. Thank you very much. You guys are very funny. 94 Todd for 2 says, to be honest, cyclists make me want to act like that too. Oh, referring to the Mormon cyclists. Yeah, I mean, they weren't even on the road though. They were on the sidewalk. Cyclists on the road, I get it. Thank you, Todd. Bull Shark for another 2 says, don't make me do it again, John, because I will. And then he does it again for $20. Says, here's for the real big toe money, I ain't no beach. So Bull Shark, I want to make sure that I spend your money correctly. You want the OG 30-second big toe money again. Because it's even funnier the 4th time. I just want to make sure that's what he wants before I play it again.
These people, John.
He says yes, Jake. He wants it one more time for good measure, Jake. I apologize, Alex. One more time. It's even funnier the 4th time.
This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
Man, Alex, I don't know if you knew what you were signing up for when you said yes. You're like, wait, I have to listen to toe songs?
I really did not know what I was signing up for.
Yeah, the toe song meme apparently will not die. So the backstory for that, if you're not aware, Jake on the panel with us, unprompted, showed his toes on screen, and then somebody clipped it and was like, and made songs out of it, and now that is a meme on stream. And anytime somebody sends in $20, they get 30 seconds of Jake's toes on screen. So we have weird foot people in this chat.
Yeah.
Also, this guy Fed confirmed. Okay, they were saying AI confirmed.
Yeah. So Pacific Northwest video feed is fake. I looked outside and it's dark. Fed technology confirmed. No, yeah, here in Washington, we still have an hour of sunlight. Thank you, Todd. Polly B for 5 says, Alex, it's too late to photobomb us with your hens or roosters. Also, TRD, raccoon. Wait, okay, I forgot about this drama. Wasn't there this thing a while ago where you killed a rooster and people were like mega mad at you for killing a rooster?
Yeah, I killed a rooster and then I gave it to the family of which the rooster attacked, and they ate that rooster.
Well, right, but why is that a bad thing to remove a pest?
Because people are stupid, that's why. But there's a rooster, there's a rooster, and there's a rooster.
Okay, so it's not all roosters, but always a rooster, right?
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah. An axe to grind for 5 says, thoroughly enjoyed the last 15 minutes of dialogue about parasocial relationships and internet friends not being real. 100% accurate. Thank you both. Well, thank you, axe to grind. I'm glad that you're having a good time with the conversation, sir. Thank you. The Mighty Quinn for 2 says, hey, do you sell MREs? ?
I sell individual MREs and cases of MREs, so you got options.
Heck yeah, and you can get that from ODGG Supply, am I correct?
ODGG Supply.
There you go. Stephen Harris over on Ko-Fi says, Rich Tidwell has some good videos on our genetic history, especially his latest release. Well, go check those out. Thank you very much, Mr. Harris. And then over on Rumble, one more. Bushmaster for 2 says, Jake, where the F did you put my Balefang? It was on my desk yesterday, and now it's not there. I know you touched my radio.
I didn't. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you. I don't know where it is.
I don't know, Jake. I don't know about you. All right, Alex, go ahead and where can people find you? What do you want to shout out before we get on out of here, good sir?
So you can find me on Twitter or X and YouTube at PNW Guerrilla on let's see, Instagram. I'm now PNW Guerrilla 1988, and you can buy military surplus and stuff from me on my website, ODGG Supply. I'm trying to branch out into more merchandise because all of my followers will not stop freaking out at me about merchandise. So I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it. Good Lord.
Why merchandise of all things?
I don't know. Everyone's mad at me that I don't have enough shirts and hoodies and things. So I'm trying.
So if you go, I'm not recommending this, okay, but if you go to ODGG Supply and use code GUILTY, you can get 15% off. And guess what? He's not even going to yell at you for using that code, okay? He's not going to post you up on X. He's not going to lambast you for using that code. You can go over there right now to ODGG Supply, use code GUILTY for 15% off, okay? But don't combo it, okay? If you're on the Patreon, do not combo it. Gosh dang it. How many times do I have to tell you people?
No,
All right.
I deserve all the hate I get. I'll be real.
Jake, I also, his link for his YouTube channel is in the YouTube chat for all of you people. Jake, what do you want to shout out before we get out of here, good sir?
I want to say free Dugan. You guys need to be keeping up with everything. I think he still needs money for his health, his medical bills, and just for supporting that legal trial. So do what you can, spread the word, tell everyone you know about it. Also, I just got a text during the stream. My buddy texted me and told me that him and his wife are going to be having a baby, which is super cool. So shout out to them. They're nameless, but shout out to you guys. And
very good.
Christ is king. That's my final message.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jake. I appreciate that. Bullshark has a question for 2 says, how much for 100 pre-filled sandbags? You're
well,
gonna
at that point, shipping would be free.
100 pre-filled sandbags, dude. We're talking almost a truckload of sandbags.
Yeah, we have a product on the website of pre-filled sandbags, and then our lowest paying employee, Ian, has to fill those sandbags with a spoon.
That's the proper
that's
way.
That's cruel and unusual punishment right there.
No, that's the proper way to treat people.
No one's
That's
bought
how
one
you're. That's how you're supposed to treat people named Ian. Just putting that out there.
Wait, you did make it hyper expensive though, right? To
Yeah,
waste
no,
that
it's
guy's time.
egregiously expensive. I think it's like $300 a sandbag or something.
Oh, okay, fair. Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I treat Jake the same way. I make him, I mock him with his toes constantly. So I get it. Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for hanging out with us in the dark as my lights are telling me that it's over. Wait, turn back on. There we go. All right, they're telling me.
You just muted again, John. I cannot believe it.
In the sign out, he mutes.
Hey, how about now? We're on.
Damn,
okay.
Don't
My
touch
mic
anything.
is dying. The lights are dying. Okay, it's telling me that it's over. It's a Monday night, dogs. I'm going to bed. No, I'm not really going to bed. I got a lot of work to do. But thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out, for watching, for supporting. Go check out Pacific Northwest Guerrilla. Thank him for his time on the show. Go to ODGG Supply to buy sandbags, because it would be very funny. Okay, it's not a good investment, but it would be very funny if everybody bought a sandbag. just ruin that guy's next like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
All right. He's gonna get PTSD from every time he sees a spoon. He's just gonna retch in some.
Oh, that's
sort
another
of
thing. So while he's filling the sandbags, the entire thing's live streamed.
Oh, even better. $300 for that. That's cheap, guys. Somebody's got to do it for the for the memes. Okay. Be very
it's on
funny.
sale for $130 right now. Yeah, it's on sale right now.
$130. Somebody go buy one right
$130
now.
for a pre-filled sandbag.
It'd be very funny. It would be very, very funny. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you guys soon. God bless. Christ is King. Godspeed out there, gents.